it looks great.
Looks awesome.
We are.
That's what makes the.
Yeah.
We're live, everybody.
Hello. I know.
We are. What's it called? What's Blake, your hair is real cute.
It's getting long. It's doing something crazy.
I like it. I like everyone's quarantine hair.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Quarantine hair. I got some real roots happening.
That's awesome.
Looks great.
Looks awesome.
Why not?
You're gonna be
Oh no,
Yeah,
sorry.
but-
We're live, everyone.
Hello. I know.
We are.
I need to remember
Sorry.
who I'm.
We got it.
Wait, say something, Sinead.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm getting the link and I'm gonna tweet it.
I'm good.
Blake, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, minorly terrified, but who isn't? What's the world doing? You know, we're all fine, aren't we?
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You what?
I'm terrified of both this and everything.
Yes.
Mary Kate, you guys are like very choppy.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's just us.
No,
Probably
they're
because
choppy.
of
Good. I'm good.
Because of what?
The
because of
upload.
the upload that Sean's trying to do.
Oh.
Wow, 200 people watching.
Ah, hello, everyone.
I may progressively get more and more sweaty because my AC is so loud, but it's so hot. So if we're dripping by the time this is done, just you've been.
Yeah.
Ours is the same.
Can
It's
you
so
hear?
loud.
Does it sound like there's a huge like lizard screaming behind us or something?
No, we can't.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately.
Good. That was our. I think
There
the
was
mic helps.
construction next door all day today, making this huge, like, loud banging from like 7 to 3, and we were really worried it was going to be going on during this.
Oh, jeez.
It's great.
Beautiful.
It's a huge
You want to exit for a
Oh,
minute?
so many people. Hello, friends. This link.
Yeah, have you got it, Sinead?
Yeah, great. We're gonna tweet out the link and then get started. It's gonna happen. Yay! I'm so excited. Yeah,
This was like my hot weather Beetlejuice bound, where I was like, it's short sleeve shirt. On the screen, it kind of looks like stripes. What's that? What's the effect called?
What's that called when your patterns make that weird thing with lighting and cameras?
Probing, maybe?
No, it's some like weird word. I feel like it starts with an M.
Oh.
We say it all the time at our show. That's all we do is it keying?
What?
Keying?
Pilling?
What?
Pilling?
No, it's like wait.
I know what you're
look
talking
it up.
about. Here, I'm looking it up. I'll look it up.
It's like it's a weird word. It's like a something effect, right?
Yeah.
This is the important stuff that we need to get to the bottom
It's
of.
gonna be need to know before we can start.
I just drank an old LaCroix. It's fun.
There's 366 people. Oh
My
Hey guys.
Wow.
Holy moly.
We, I guess, try.
Find the comments. Okay, I have tweeted it.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, everybody. Sean,
Sorry guys. Sorry.
Sean is trying to do a work thing and having problems, so we're just
Oh my God, it's okay. We're eagerly trying to figure out what the word is for this like clothes patterns under cameras.
very important.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like this.
What's it called? Yeah.
fun.
Well, if we want to kill some time, I can tell my great Beetlejuice story.
Oh yeah, everybody listen to Alex's Beetlejuice story.
Got a good Beetlejuice
Yes.
story?
What?
It's pretty good. So when I was a baby, my mom woke up in the middle of the night and I was screaming in my crib, and she came in and I was fully naked. I had ripped off all of my clothes and my diaper, and I was screaming, "It's showtime." next day, my mom asked my brother, who was like 4 or 5 at the time, what that was, and he was like, "Oh, it's from the Beetlejuice cartoon." And I was just so into it. That
That's so funny.
Because I picture it like you, but with a baby body.
Yeah.
Just like,
Right.
Holding my diaper and onesie. Oh boy.
That's
That's very
That's really
true.
nice.
Go in a
Pretty good story.
but it didn't.
well, should we go around and say
yeah,
who everybody's playing?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I suggest.
Are we still choppy?
No, you're okay. It's better now.
Okay.
Wow,
Great
we have
job.
almost 500 people watching.
I know,
Hi, everybody.
I hadn't even.
People know my Beetlejuice story.
She's just really like this.
Okay.
Okay, who would like to start? Shall I start?
Sinead.
All right. Sinead's gonna start. I am Sinead, and I am playing Lydia, obviously.
Cute.
Tight.
I'm Alex, and I'm reading stage directions.
Great character.
And I'm Sarah, and I'm reading Delia and Miss Argentina.
I'm Mary Kate, and I'm reading Barbara.
Yes.
Is that my name? And Grace.
Yes.
I'm Sean, and I'm reading Adam
And others.
Yeah.
and wait for it.
Oh.
Bernard. So
I'm Blake. I'm playing Otho. I think that's how you say it. Messenger, Maxie, Sinister Man, and
Lauren.
I'm Lauren. I'm playing Jane, Charles, Juno, Beryl,
Burl.
Dumb number 2, and Sarah.
I'm Joey. I'm playing Old Bill, Moving Man number 1, Dumb 1, and Betelgeuse.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, your beard is so beardy. I'm just now looking at it. It's
So
such a
wow.
beard.
Weird.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's
Joey, that's a
upsetting.
really
can you
good
just run your
design.
fingers through it for us a couple times? Oh, yes. Thank you.
It's very upsetting.
Wow.
This is the movie version, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry,
And
all you
Musical.
fans of the musical.
Listen,
Sort of the movie
guys,
I've listened to the music from the musical, and it's very good, but the movie is and will always be the superior version.
Yeah.
hey guys, really quick, I'm just gonna jump in here and let you know that it's called a moray effect. Is when this happens on
Oh,
camera.
I saw people saying that. I knew.
What?
I saw people.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bye.
Well, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
You want
Yeah.
All right, everyone. It's going to be great. Let's get started. This is Beetlejuice, by Warren Scarron, from an
Sure.
original screenplay by Michael McDowell, based on a story by Michael McDowell and Larry Wilson, but totally transcribed by Sinead.
There's a lot of weird stuff in
There
that
was some,
original screenplay, y'all.
offensive things in the actual screenplay that we looking at. All right, we fade into an exterior Winter River, Connecticut day. A crisp, perfect New England town, almost too neat to be real. No visible townspeople. Camera explores town. Camera flies over a rickety bridge past the Maitland hardware and appliance store, past the church, the historical society, up over the graveyard on the hill, and finally, Maitland house. The perfect Victorian house surveying the tiny village. Suddenly, a giant daddy-long-legged spider mounts the crest of the hill beside the house, pauses to wave a spindly leg, and then creeps menacingly on top of the Maitland house.
Oh, well, that's a big fella.
A hand as big as God's with a huge tweezer gently reaches down out of the sky and lies palm up in the yard next to the house. Daddy Longlegs climbs into it. The hand rises into the sky again. Interior attic, new angle. Longlegs and the hand are normal size. Above the model are a homely representation of moon, sun, and stars, a whole tiny mechanical universe to track the hours of the day. A large flat map of the city is prominent on the wall. The hand is Adam Maitland's. In his late 30s, he's a solid, easygoing citizen. Capra used to make movies about him. Adam's model town sprawls across most of the attic space. Windows on either end of the attic shed good light into the warm room. Adam very carefully lifts the spider out of the open window. Smiles as he drops him slightly on the breeze. Camera tilts up from the window to see the real Winter River laid out exactly as the model at the foot of the hill. Adam breathes deeply and looks very pleased at the glorious town below him. On his huge hand again, as it reaches into model and tweezes a tiny sign into the tiny window of Maitland's hardware store on Main Street. It reads, Adam and Barbara Maitland are on vacation. Hooray! Adam leans down and eyes the sign. Adam turns to see entering Barbara Maitland, 35, a wholesome beauty who is mellowing well. She smiles at him, perhaps a certain tinge of sadness about her because they don't have children.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
All right.
Empty existence.
Sinead, did you add that?
It looks great.
Thanks.
She pushes a wrapped present across the table.
Happy vacation, honey.
Adam smiles and gives her a present he's hidden under the table. He opens his present, a can of furniture oil.
Manchurian tongue oil? Where'd you get it?
Helen got it for me in Oslo. There's enough to refinish the gate, leg table, and the cherry wardrobe.
Adam hands Barbara a carefully wrapped bundle. She unwraps her gift, rolls of very expensive floral wallpaper. She cradles it in her arms like gold leaf.
Oh, Adam, it's beautiful.
Enough to do
Adam
the guest.
nods and embraces her.
Enough to do the guest.
I'm so glad we're spending our vacation at home. I'm going to get started right now.
Whoa, hold on.
Barbara calms down, returning to Adam's embrace as phone rings. They freeze, then grin.
No one's home.
Honk honk outside. They look at each other horrified, peer out the window.
Oh no.
It's your turn, honey.
She shakes her head with resignation and goes downstairs, knocking on the door from below. Interior staircase and kitchen day. Camera follows Adam and Barbara downstairs. We see the rambling, old-fashioned quality to the house. Clean, sentimental, warm, and floral. Some rooms in progress. They continue down the main staircase past photos of themselves. Old photos of the early days of Winter River. Pictures and mementos of 3 generations in hardware. Barbara goes to the kitchen and Adam continues down to the basement. Her POV, a woman, Jane Butterfield, tall, gawky, and aggressive, peeks in the kitchen door. She's divorced 3 husbands and buried another for good measure. She's ruthless but is weirdly, seamlessly pleasant. She waves a legal-sized paper at them, starts to come inside. Interior, exterior, kitchen door. Barbara makes dash for it and bolds it just as Jane gets a foot in. Jane smiles widely.
Hi, Barb. I'm glad I caught you. Heard you were on vacation.
That's right, Jane. Complete vacation.
Honey, today I am $350,000.
No, Jane, it is 6:45 in the morning.
This offer is really real from a rich man in New York City who only saw a photograph.
Jane, don't show people photos of our house.
He wants to bring the wife and kid for the old peace and quiet.
That's what we're looking for, too.
Barbara Maitland, sweetie, just listen now. This house is too big. It really ought to be for a couple with a family.
That hurts Barbara a little. She looks at Jane.
Oh, Pumpkin, I didn't mean anything. It's just too big for you.
Jane compulsively affixes her business card, face inside, in the window pane.
Bye, Jane. See you in a few weeks. Take care.
She pulls down the window curtain on Jane. Adam is humming happily, looking for paintbrushes in the ground floor storeroom. He spies a cassette deck and looks through a stack of cassettes and plays one. It's an old Harry Belafonte song. Adam puts away the tape, humming the song. He opens the shutters on a small window. On window.
I was just telling Barbara about the offer on the house.
Jumps back, frightened.
No, Jane.
Adam closes the shutters as Jane affixes yet another card to the window. He continues his search for the brush. Jane exits jauntily, flapping her contract down the lawn. Interior Maitland house day. Adam continues rummaging for a brush. Can't find it.
Honey, come with me down to the store.
What for?
I need a good brush for this tongue oil, and I want to pick up a piece. I want to pick up a piece of the model. Let's go early before anyone sees us.
Barbara has already papered a few rolls in the guest room.
Okay, but let's hurry back. You just run in, okay?
Exterior of the house, day. The Victorian house from the model in the flesh. Adam stands by the yellow station wagon. On the bumper of the car is a sticker reading, "Warning, I brake for animals." Barbara gets in driver's side. They drive off. Interior of the car, day. Adam dusts the inside of the dashboard. Clean, clean.
Jane said we should sell the house to someone with a family.
Well, I don't think it's any of Jane's business.
He puts his hand on her shoulder. Exterior, the river and bridge and hill, day. We see the car coming down the hill towards the bridge.
Besides, we could try again on this vacation, you know.
Oh, you don't say.
Car reaches the rickety covered bridge. Car shakes, bobbing up and down on every plank. They laugh. Exterior, downtown Winter River, day. Just like the model, but real and populated. Camera pauses on a gorgeous storefront with a brass lion out front. Sign above door says, Bosman Building, 1835. An old man polishes the lion as Maitland's drive by and wave.
Hiya, Adam.
Hi, Ernie.
Sorry, my Siri just thought I was talking to her. Camera spies a jaunty dog, like Benji, peeking on the opposite corner of the line. Exterior Maitland Hardware, day. Adam sprints up the steps of his lovely hardware store. Old Bill, a slightly ancient barber, is napping in a chair in front of his shop next door to Adam's. Adam fumbles with the lock, not interested in conversation.
Morning, Adam. Need a haircut before your vacation?
No, thanks, Bill.
How's the model coming?
Good, Bill, good.
Bill turns around and continues prattling, even though Adam is angry. Bill prattles throughout.
You know, I was thinking, you said Bosman built the foundation in 1835, but you know, his grandson came in here last week and said he found a bottle of an old 1836 stamp and had plastered to the foundation. He got hair down to his goddamn shoulders.
Interior Maitland Hardware. Adam pulls down a few good paintbrushes and carefully picks up a small model of the Bosman building. He walks out. Old Bill continues unabated.
He just said, just trim it a little. He took his scissors to him so fast he would have skimmed him clean if he hadn't.
Adam strides by quickly to the car.
See you, Bill.
Right.
Exterior Maitland's car, day. The Maitlands drive their car out of town. Exterior car and bridge. Day. Car approaches. Interior car, day. 5 brushes sit on the seat next to Adam. He cradles small replica of the Bosman building, complete with brass lion.
This is going to be great.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather go to Jamaica or someplace like that?
No way. There's no place like home.
Hey, look out for that.
Barbara swerves. As the car hits the rickety bridge, the speed is just a bit too much. Boards rattle and loosen. The car skews and catches an open slot. Careens to the right, then to the left, and the bridge. Interior car, day. Adam tries to help Barbara. He tries to get out of the car. None of this succeeds. Exterior bridge and river, day. The dog finishes peeing, looks over at the car, walks across the bridge, and steps onto one board which holds the car aloft. He moves aside. The car rocks back and forth for a moment, then slides toward the water. Barbara and Adam scream. The dog looks over the edge at the car. Exterior car and bridge. The car plunges into the rushing water. It floats for a moment, then sinks like a stone. Fade to black. Fade in. Interior Barbara and Adam's living room, day. Quiet, still, expectant. There is a fire laid in the hearth. Suddenly, and for no apparent reason, it ignites and burns with a furious cheerfulness. Barbara and Adam enter, dazed, wet, and bedraggled.
Something like this always happens when we try to go on vacation. Always.
Adam leads her toward the fire.
You'll feel better when you're dry.
He holds out his hands to be warmed. Barbara comes up beside him. All this time, she's been holding her injured arm with the other hand.
Fire wasn't burning when we left the house.
How's your arm?
I'm not sure. It feels frozen.
She holds her arms out to warm them. One hand catches on fire. Barbara's left arm. They stare at it dumbfoundedly before Adam regains his senses and snatches it out of the fire. 2 of the fingers are burning like candles, and Barbara industriously blows them out.
Oh, Adam.
Cut to interior living room a few minutes later, day. They are sitting on the couch together. Barbara is looking away slightly, as one does when a doctor is drawing blood, while Adam looks at her fingers. He frowns. He looks at his skin. It's pale. He looks at Barbara.
I'll make some coffee. You get some more firewood.
Adam gets up, a little absently. She follows him as he wanders to the front door. He peers out.
Maybe we should take things extra slow. You remember how we got back up here?
Barbara tests her hand, clenches and unclenches her fists.
I'm gonna go back to that bridge and retrace our steps.
Adam, exploring, opens the door, steps out to the front porch. Adam starts to step down to the yard. He steps off the last step into the yard and promptly disappears.
Adam!
Exterior, the great void. Adam is nowhere. There's no ground, no sky, nothing to stand on or hold on to or give boundaries or distance. Just vast nothing. Not white and not colored either. Noise of a clock ticking. Adam looks about surprised, doesn't like what he doesn't see. He turns around to head back up the steps. There are no steps.
Barbara?
His voice echoes strangely. He runs off a little in the distance and calls again from over there.
Where are you?
He goes even farther away. In the foreground, an enormous geared wheel the size of a man rolls by, tearing up the unseamed ground. Something pours up out of the tear, ooze or stuffing. Adam runs forward and stares after the wheel, which is now out of sight. Two smaller gears, looking very much like components of a giant watch, spin along behind him. One of them veers suddenly toward him, and though Adam jumps out of the way, the gear snags his trouser leg and shreds it. Loud ticking. A perfectly enormous gear comes barreling toward him. Adam leaps out of his way. The gear turns fishtailing, kicking up ooze and stuffing. Adam flings himself suddenly to the right, but trips into the path of the gear. As he's about to be crushed, he's suddenly jerked up to safety. Exterior front porch night. It's Barbara who's grabbed him, and quite evidently saved his life. Not life, perhaps, but existence. He's shaken, breathless. Barbara stares at him as if wondering what he's just been through.
You saved my life, or whatever.
2 hours.
What?
That's how long you were gone.
Interior living room night. Barbara leads Adam into the house.
Anything happened while I was away?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I made a couple of small discoveries.
Barbara stands by the mirror over the hearth mantle. On the mantle is Barbara's prized collection of porcelain horses. Adam comes to stand beside her. They look into the mirror and there's no reflection of them. Barbara picks up one of the horses and trots it through the air. The horse is imaged in the mirror.
There's that, and there's this.
She picks up an ancient leather-bound book. It's yellow and worn, about the size of a Boy Scout manual. Close-up. Its title is The Handbook for the Recently Deceased.
Handbook for the recently deceased.
Deceased. I don't know where it came from. Look at the publisher.
Handbook for the recently deceased press.
You know what? I don't think we survived the crash.
Interior bedroom night. Adam is already in bed, reading from the handbook. Barbara is pacing.
I hate this. Just, can you give me the basics?
This book isn't arranged that way. What do you want to know?
There are 1,000 things. Why did you disappear when you walked off the front porch? Is this a punishment? Are we halfway to heaven or are we halfway to hell? And how long is this going to last?
I don't see anything about rewards and punishments or heaven and hell. This book reads like stereo instructions. Listen to this. Geographical and temporal perimeters. Functional perimeters vary from manifestation to manifestation. This is going to take some time, honey.
Barbara falls to the bed, exasperated. Interior demonic lair. Close on lanterns and melting candles. Beetlejuice hums a tune as he rifles through a hellish newspaper using only his hands.
Damn sandworms are only down 13%, huh? Well, I better find a job. Let's see. Business section. Ooh.
Beetlejuice flips the page to the obits, a picture of Barbara and Adam.
Oh la la, what do we got here? The Maitlands. Cute couple. Looks nice and stupid too.
Yeah, okay. Fade in. Dramatic day. Adam is setting up a small monument in the model town cemetery. It reads, Adam and Barbara Maitland, united in life, undivided in death. Harry Belafonte plays.
Wish I had a better view of the cemetery from up here. I don't know which area is the best placement for us.
Barbara, trying to clean, lets out a frustrated yelp.
Cabin fever?
I can't clean anything. The vacuum is out in the garage. I can't leave the house. Why don't they tell us something? Where are all the other dead people in the world? Why is it just you and me?
Maybe this is heaven.
In heaven, there wouldn't be dust on everything.
Barbara shakes her head and picks up the handbook and pages through it desperately. Car door slams outside. Adam and Barbara look at one another, run to window. Exterior Maitland house, day. Jane Butterfield is staring up at the old house. Interior attic, day. Adam, from his angle, can just barely see her.
God, it's Jane.
What's she doing here?
I don't know. Jane! Jane, up here!
Exterior Maitland house, day. Unhearing, Jane heads for car. Sound of wind up. Blows her crest. Little Jane straggles along with her like an apprentice. Interior attic, day. Barbara watches Adam and shakes her head. He stops.
She can't see you, right?
Adam nods.
In the book, rule number 2, the living usually won't see the dead.
Won't or can't?
It just says won't. God, this book is so stupid. I can't understand anything in it.
Barb, honey, we're dead. I don't think we have very much to worry about anymore.
Barbara sighs and nods. Exterior Maitland house, day. Jane drives away. Camera hinges to see a for sale sign. Across it, another smaller banner. It reads, sold. Cut to interior master bedroom, morning. The Maitlands are asleep. Camera explores the room a bit. It is getting slightly tatty. Adam rolls over, pulling the covers off Barbara. We see on Barbara, she's hovering off the side of the bed. An ominous rumble, like a 4.0 earthquake, shakes the house. Glass rattles. Ceramic forces on the mantelpiece jump around. Barbara falls to the floor. They look at one another with horror. They leap up and run downstairs. Interior living room, day. The rumble builds to a climax. There's a loud, metallic squeal and then a crash, just as Barbara and Adam arrive. Front door smashes open, revealing a moving van ramp, a man's voice.
This is just what the doctor ordered.
Barbara cringes as the moving men bump and scrape things. 2 moving men rush down the ramp.
Oh, sorry about that, Mrs. Deetz.
Don't worry, it was going anyway.
Delia Deetz enters behind them. She is relentlessly New York, relentlessly fashionable, relentlessly thin. She is also a woman with a mission, to gut Barbara and Adam's house and remake it in her own very upscale image. Delia's gaze is on the living room, but she looks through Adam and Barbara as if they weren't even there, which to her eyes they are not. She moves into the living room, surveying it with an odd mixture of ambition, disgust, and resolution. That's the cue for Charles Deetz, who comes in through a swinging door and across the dining room, a nervous but pleasant man. Will attack rest and relaxation with the same fortitude that earned him millions in real estate.
Delia Deetz, welcome home.
Charles!
It's okay, there's no damage. See? Good sturdy country craftsmanship. Look at that kitchen. You'll finally be able to cook a decent meal.
Delia stares daggers at him. The moving men enter holding a giant blue chair.
Little gasoline, a blowtorch, no problem.
The moving men set the chair down. It holds Lydia, age 14. She is a pretty girl, Juan, pale and overly dramatic, dressed as she is in her favorite color, black. She is a combination of a little death rocker and an 80s version of Edward Gorey's Little Girls. She has a couple of expensive cameras around her neck and is already taking photographs of the moving men. Lydia is cool. Lydia is sullen. Lydia is her father's daughter by his first marriage. Lydia is usually about half pissed off, but underneath, we like her a lot. Lydia hops down out of the chair and comes farther into the living room.
Noise in that kitchen. Noisy refrigerator, noisy faucets. We'll have to replace it all. I want no humming in the house.
Lydia, exploring on her own, gazes around the living room with growing pleasure. She backs up for a good angle to photograph. Camera hinges. She is standing with her back right up to Barbara, who's horrified at this creature.
What do you think, honey?
Delia hates it.
Lydia gazes at a dusty maze of spiderwebs.
I could live here.
The movement makes Lydia turn around. It's Delia, not Barbara.
Careful, that's my sculpture. And I don't mean mine as in I bought it, I mean mine as in I made it. It's my sculpture. Put it on the table.
A violent scream turns the Deetz's family's attention to the front windows.
Help! Oh, help!
Otho's massive body wedged in the window frame. The short, stubby legs, dressed in the world's largest pair of Giorgio Armani slacks, protrude into the living room, waving frantically. Expensive Italian loafers are kicked off the feet, revealing a pair of expensive patterned socks. By their feet shall ye know them.
Do it! I didn't write that. It's Otho!
Otho, why didn't you just come in the door?
Otho's voice comes as if from a great distance.
It's bad luck, and I believe hugely in luck.
Delia turns to Charles and Lydia for help, doesn't get it, and at last pulls Otho into the living room single-handedly. All this while the moving men are variously carting out the handsome old furniture and bringing in the hideous new furniture. Otho holds onto the curtains for support as he is pulled through the window, and when he is at last all the way through and upright to his feet, he suddenly gives a tremendous yank. The whole drapery apparatus, including balances, crashes to the floor.
That was the single most unattractive window treatment I have ever seen in my entire existence.
Otho, you left the city for me. I'm so happy you're here.
Otho is looking around the room with an eye of quiet horror.
Yes, of course you are. Well, Otho had an intuition. Call it a hunch that it was going to be a fabled monstrosity of a house, and it certainly is. Charles, you're in luck the yuppies are buying condos so you can afford what I'm going to have to do to this place. We are talking from the ground upsville.
That's fine, Otho. Just keep me out of it. I'm here to relax and clip coupons, and goddamn it, I mean to do it.
He exits to find solace in a quiet corner of his house. During this speech, Otho has been surreptitiously posing for Lydia's camera. She clicks the shutter.
Is the rest of the house as bad as this?
Then go do that quietly, dear, and let Otho and I think.
Delia licks Charles's nose. Out of the pockets of his Armani jacket, Otho takes 2 cans of spray paint, the kind the graffiti artists use, and shakes them as if they were castanets. They certainly sound like it. Interior upstairs hallway. At one end near the stairs leading to the attic, Barbara and Adam are slumped against opposite walls.
Is this a punishment or something? What are we gonna do?
We're not completely helpless. I've been reading the book. There's a word for people in our predicament, honey.
Barbara looks at him.
Ghosts.
Barbara is shocked at the reality. Otho and Delia come up the stairs at the end of the hallway.
Delia, let's get this show on the road. We're dealing with negative entertainment potential here. I mean, there's absolutely no organic walking flow through.
Otho looks down the hallway. It's empty. Adam and Barbara are no longer there.
What's wrong?
I thought I saw something.
Delia turns and spray paints on the wall in luminous orange the word mauve.
Okay.
You read my mind. I love clients who can read my mind. There are so few who are open to the experience.
His room day. It's not Lydia's room yet, of course, because it still has the Maitland's furniture in it. Barbara had partly wallpapered it before the accident. Her tools are still there. Delia smiles. Behind Delia and Otho, the room's closet door swings slowly open with an ominous creak. Delia and Otho turn that way with a suggestion of dread. Inside the closet, Barbara's corpse is suspended from the ceiling by a belt. The corpse twists with a creak, and Barbara grins ghostly and slowly tears off her face, leaving nothing but muscle and bone beneath. Her eyeballs dangle on her cheeks.
I hate
Delia
that.
and Otho stare aghast.
Oh my god!
We just have to pray that the other closets are bigger than this.
Walks over and looks inside.
Ooh, look!
He finds, neatly hung in plastic, the Maitland's wedding outfits. Totally captivated by this powerful image, he peers through the plastic at them, holding each up to Delia. Barbara watches wide-eyed at them.
Ozzy and Harriet, what happened to these people?
Delia slams the door in Barbara's contorted face.
They died.
Interior, the next room. Delia and Otho continue through the house.
Oh, look, an indoor outhouse.
Next room, Otho stops.
Viridian.
Viridian. Why do I know that name?
Blue-green.
He takes out his spray and writes it on the wall.
Hydrated chromic oxide. Remember, I'm schooled in chemistry. I was a hair analyst.
Interior house, same time. Delia and Otho continue on to the study. Otho reaches out and turns the knob. The door swings ominously open on Charles' study. This had been Adam's reading and bird-watching study. Bird posters on the wall, books everywhere, straight out of Better Homes and Gardens, 1963.
Ooh, deliver me from LL Bean.
Angle. There is one slight difference, however, because on the rag rug in the middle of the floor lies Adam's headless corpse. Standing over him, holding in one hand a long knife and the other Adam's blood and gore dripping head, is Barbara, with a maniacal look on her face. Behind them, Charles is thumbing through Adam's Audubon collection. He sits up like a cornered animal protecting his territory. Delia screams.
I know what you two are up to, and you're not going to get away with it.
Inside the room, the eyes of Adam's severed head open and look up at Barbara. She stops screaming.
Oh, honey, this is not working out at all.
Outside, Delia is shaking her head.
Charles, I will not stop living and breathing art just because you need to relax. I'm here with you. I'll live with you in this hellhole, but I must express myself. If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
Yeah, well, maybe the house could use a little remodeling. Why don't you just leave this room alone, okay?
I'm gonna get her.
Once you cover up the wallpaper, knock down a few walls, alter the traffic patterns, and perhaps think about an in-ground pool, the place might be just livable. What's on the 3rd floor?
Attic space.
Let's see. We could turn that into a media room.
They head up the stairs to the attic. Interior study, same time. Adam's head has a look of terror on it.
Oh God, I forgot to lock the attic door.
Adam's headless body jumps off the floor and rushes out of the room. Interior staircase to attic, same time. Otho and Delia climbing. The headless corpse careens past them around the bend, the stairs, and out of sight.
Did you feel something?
Delia shakes her head.
I felt a cool wind.
The expression on Otho's face suggests he knows more than he is telling. Interior landing outside attic door, same time. The headless corpse rushes through the open door into the attic. Interior attic, same time. The headless corpse slams the door shut, turns the key in the lock, and he slumps against the locked door in an exaggerated stance of relief. Interior attic landing, same time. Delia tries the knob. The door is locked.
You don't have a key?
Maybe Charles does.
I have a feeling there's something very interesting behind this door.
Yeah, ghosts. Of the people who died in this house and they want us out of here. So let's do them a favor.
Interior study, same time. Barbara still holding Adam's head. Charles still calmly leafing through the Audubons.
That was close.
I cannot witness this.
Barbara distractedly puts Adam's head on a bookshelf. His headless body fumbles with the books and finally reattaches the head. Interior study day. Adam turns away from the window. Barbara, fuming, moves around Charles, making wild gestures.
What's the point of being a ghost if you can't frighten people to death?
Oh, honey.
No, I'm not putting up with this.
She storms out of the room. Interior kitchen moments later. Barbara storms in, as if straight from the room upstairs. She heads straight for the back door. Just as she opens the door, Adam rushes up.
Barbara, honey, don't go out there. You don't know what—
I don't care.
She flings open the door and steps outside. She promptly disappears.
Barbara!
Exterior surface of Saturn's moon Titan. Day. You know. Barbara plunges into the dusty surface of Titan with an enormous Saturn looming in the sky. She looks around with wonder and some fear. A sulfur volcano erupts in the distance. A meteor crashes with a lurid explosion. As from a great distance, she hears Adam's voice like thunder.
Barbara!
She turns slowly in the yellow, dense sand that covers the surface of this distant moon. Barbara's POV. Adam is trudging toward her. Behind him, hovering isolated in the air, is the kitchen door. Back to scene, Adam at last catches up with her, surveys around them.
Oh, Adam, find somebody. I'm getting all yellow.
Behind them, something is burrowing rapidly towards them through the sand. The something could be right out of Dune.
Timely.
Hey. Barbara and Adam stare for a moment, then Adam grabs her and pulls her toward the kitchen door, but the kitchen door is moved, so they veer in the new direction. The something follows them and rises out of the sand. On something, it is a very big, very nasty, and very hungry, snapping sandworm. It roars and lunges at them. Barbara, slightly angered at it, instinctively bats at it. The sandworm is momentarily stunned at Barbara's audacity. It freezes and shakes its loathsome head. Barbara bats at it again. Adam is wide-eyed, tries to pull her away. The sandworm recovers and roars after them. Adam grabs Barbara and tries to escape, but they slip and sink in the sand. They make it to the door just in time, swing it open, and hurl themselves through. The door shuts with a bang just in front of the roaring sandworm. The sandworm rears and roars in frustration, howling to the ringed planet. Interior kitchen. Barbara, weeping, throws herself in Adam's arms.
Oh, Adam, we're trapped in this house with these people.
She hugs him tight. Both contemplate that horror. Interior dining room. Adam has his arms around Barbara's shoulder. They walk in the door and stumble upon the Deetzes at their dinner. Lydia's back is to them. Barbara and Adam back out of the room but stop to listen. Interior dining room night. The Deetzes around the dining room table. There are candles and good china laid out, but they're eating out of Chinese takeout boxes.
I can't believe that we're eating Cantonese. Is there no Szechuan up here? Hunan?
I plan to have a stroke from the amount of MSG that's in this food.
This is our first meal in this house, Lydia. Why don't we all do our little private burst to make it a pleasant one?
Sorry, what? Oh,
private parts, maybe.
sorry, it cut out. Don't bait your mother, Pumpkin. Soon as we all get settled, we'll build you a dark room in the basement.
My whole life is a dark room. One big dark room.
Julia rolls her eyes and nods. She's been through this before.
So you're miserable in New York and you'll be miserable in the Sticks. At least someone's life hasn't been upheaved.
I don't know about you, but I'm happy here. Those people in New York don't know what they're missing.
You know, we could become the Summer Art Center of New York. I could start sculpting again. You know, I'm only truly happy when I'm sculpting.
That's a very good idea. That'll be very time-consuming.
First, the house. Otho and I have great plans.
I think we should keep it the way it is.
Good idea.
Celia shifts her glare to Charles.
We're going to have a lot to do tomorrow. The Goodwill truck is coming.
Everything goes, along with whatever's in the attic.
Lydia looks at them with a mixture of sadness and anger. Outside the door on the stairs, listening, sit Barbara and Adam. A tear rolls down her face. Interior attic day. Adam and Barbara are lying down on the floor, peering out of one of the small windows overlooking the front yard of the house, the handbook open in front of them. Exterior front yard, Adam and Barbara's POV day. The entire front yard is alive with workmen and their vehicles, plumbers, electricians, cable TV men, etc. In the road in front of the house are several cars of rubbernecking locals, astonished by all the activity. The city has come to town. Moving men continue to move in the Deetz's modern, expensive, and ugly furniture. They collide with Goodwill men coming out of the Maitland's lovely antiques and personal possessions. Delia screams at everyone.
Ah! If you tell me what to do, I'll tell you why my husband will fire you.
Interior attic day. Adam and Barbara just look at one another as if to say, "We're next." Adam leafs through the handbook furiously.
Is there an index or something?
Not really. What's this?
Adam pulls from the handbook an ancient, yellowed, crumbling handbill. He carefully opens it. On handbill, very primitive, crude, red printing.
Having difficulty adjusting? Is death a problem and not a solution? Unhappy with eternity? Troubled by the living? Call Betelgeuse, the bio-exorcist. That's Betelgeuse. Beetle.
The remainder of the sheet is torn off. On Barbara, fingering the torn edge, looking in the book for the remainder. No luck.
That's it? No number or instructions?
Nothing. The bio-exorcist? I don't get it.
Interior kitchen. Charles, away from the chaos outside, is calmly steeping a mug of herb tea. Herb tea. His solitude is interrupted by a 2,500-pound Vulcan range breaking through the too small kitchen window.
What the hell are you trying to do out there?
Julia, outside, stuck under her sculpture, is berating the inept crane operator and shrieks periodically at some fine art movers who are struggling under her horrid, modern, welded steel sculptures.
Why are you doing this to me? This is my art and it's dangerous. You think I want to die like this?
Lydia snaps photos of the mayhem. She stops to scan the whole house. Lydia's POV. When her gaze reaches to the top of the house, she suddenly glimpses Barbara and Adam's faces in the window. Back to scene. Lydia blinks hard. Her mouth drops open. She looks all around as if she'd just seen a ghost or two. Jane Butterfield's car pulls up. Interior attic.
That little girl saw us.
Honey, no one can see us.
Lydia catches sight of Jane and runs over.
What happened to the people who used to live here?
They drowned.
Yes, they were family. I was devastated. Here, darling.
Jane hands a key to Lydia.
Is this the key to the attic?
That's a skeleton key. It will open any door in that house. Will you give it to your father? And you might mention that I single-handedly decorated the house in case he needs advice in that area. Come see me.
Another angle. Lydia's face sobers as she looks up at the now empty attic window. Lydia drops the skeleton key into her pocket surreptitiously. Interior upstairs hallway day. Lydia looks up at the stairs at the attic landing. She's a little scared. She decides to go up the dark stairs. In the hall, at the end of the hall stands Charles, directing men who are carrying books into the room that will be his study. He continues on. A blast of steam fills the hallway because workmen are already going at the wallpaper. Lydia emerges from it, looking at the stairway to attic, mounting courage. Interior staircase to attic day. Lydia creeps upward, taking the skeleton key from her pocket. Floorboard squeak. Interior attic day. Adam works on his model. He hears the squeak, looks up confidently.
Don't worry, I've locked it.
Barbara smiles and knits while rocking in her chair. Interior attic landing. Lydia quietly inserts the key in the lock of the attic door. She turns it. The key is stiff. She turns harder. It's stuck. Lydia tries the door. It's no go. She turns the key again. This time it goes all the way around. Interior attic day. Barbara and Adam, surprised by the key, look at each other carefully, very quietly, stand up and tiptoe towards the door. On the screen of an old TV set in the corner of the attic, suddenly a ghostly image pops up. On TV, a bizarre, smallish fellow, outfitted in a too-big cowboy hat, bad wig, and oversized sunglasses, appears on the screen. It is a heavily disguised Betelgeuse. Behind him, the camera quickly pans an assortment of tombstones a la Cal Worthington.
Yeehaw! Having trouble with the living? Tired of having your home violated? You want to get rid of them pesky living creatures once and for all? Well, come on down to see me, folks. The afterlife's leading bio-exorcist. Yes, sirree. I want to tell you, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. I'll scare them real bad. Boys, I'll do anything to get your business. Hell, I'll possess myself if I gotta. Yo, I got demons running all through me. All through me. Come on down and see it. And hey, if you act now, you get a free demon possession with every exorcism. You can't beat that, can you? Bring the little partners. We got plenty of snakes for them to play with. No problem with that at all. So, say it once, say it twice, third time's a charm. Come on down. Third time's a charm. And remember, I'll eat anything. Shit, how does this go? Come on down. And remember, I'll eat anything you want me to eat. I'll swallow anything you want me to swallow. Come on down. I'll chew on the dog. Oh!
He pops off. Adam and Barbara stare at each other. Interior landing day. Lydia listens. Did she hear something? She puts her hand on the knob and tries to turn it. It's stuck. Then the key eerily pops out of the lock and falls on the floor. Charles's head suddenly appears behind her and scares her.
What are you doing?
Interior attic. Adam is holding on tight to the knob of the door. With her knitting needle, Barbara has poked the key out. The two stand absolutely still, listening, terrified of the living intruders. Interior attic landing. Lydia and Charles. Just kidding. Interior attic. Barbara and Adam have moved away from the door.
We need some help. I found something this morning. Here, emergencies. In case of emergency, draw door.
Draw a door? I don't know why we keep looking in that stupid book.
Adam takes a piece of chalk and draws a little door on the exposed brick of the chimney.
You don't actually think this is going to work.
Adam draws a doorknob, then he tries to turn it. The door, perhaps to his surprise, fails to open.
Why don't we try this beetle guy?
Wait.
He looks at the book, then writes on the door, knock and enter. He exchanges a glance with Barbara. She's even more skeptical than before, turns away in disgust. Adam knocks on the door, turns the knob, nothing. She's more disgusted. Adam goes back to the book.
Aha! Knock 3 times.
Another angle. He knocks 3 times, turns a knob. The chalk door swings magnificently open. Behind is an eerie light source, soaring music, maybe even a heavenly choir singing pear-shaped syllables. What? Adam and Barbara love her again. They hold hands and step tentatively through. Their figures are lost in the blinding light. They start to shut the door after them. On the attic landing, Lydia is staring at the light pouring from under the attic door. It suddenly goes out. On Lydia, she is dumbfounded. She listens. On the landing, Lydia speeds down the steps. Wow, there's a lot. Okay. Interior, that's not gonna work. Interior Charles' study day. Charles, fiercely intent on relaxing, paces like a catfish out of water. Ralph Lauren in Kmart. What? He stretches. He sits uneasily in an easy chair. Tries like hell to get comfortable. Finally, he puts a book under his bottom to get sitting straight. Looks around, tapping his fingers. What to do? Looks at watch. He takes down a book from Adam's library. It is an Audubon book of birds. He whips through it like it's the comics, and then looks around for more. He finds the illustrated Walden by Thoreau. He speed reads it. He is now really bored. Goes to the fireplace, tries to light it, cannot do it. Goes to the desk and writes, Otho installed gas fire logs in study. He studies bird posters, finds beautiful cardinal picture, takes field glasses and looks out window. His POV spies big, ugly-looking ratty bird devouring something. On Charles, horrified, wrinkles his nose. Lydia enters. He jumps.
Jesus Christ.
Lydia is shocked.
Darling, can't you see I'm relaxing in here?
Well, I just wanted to tell you what I saw.
Lydia, what the hell is the point of my moving up here if you people won't let me relax? Go help your mother.
Charles returns to field glasses, spies something. She looks at him in frustration.
Fine. Maybe you can relax in a haunted house, but I can't.
She exits. Charles peers after her, brow furrowed. Looks out again at the village. Uses his field glasses to get a better look. His POV. It's the Bosman building. Ernie is out front polishing the brass lion. On Charles, he thinks, moves the field glasses to punctuate his discovery of the building. His eyes never leave field glasses throughout the following.
Nice building. Bad paint. Good lines. A bad roof. Good parking. Huh?
It really registers with him. Without looking, he dials a familiar number on the phone. With one hand, lifts the receiver. He clacks his teeth together purposefully.
Flacco International.
Yes, I'd like to speak with Maxie Dean.
He's not in right now.
Well, tell him that Charles Deetz called.
He hangs up and continues to spy on Bosman building. Clacks his teeth.
My God, what I could do with that parking.
Dissolved to a tight shot of Barbara and Adam. Very still, they look cautiously to the right and left, just with their eyes. They're astounded by what they see, though we don't see it yet.
Not what I expected when we walked through that door.
No, but it's somewhere without big worms.
The camera draws back and we find that Adam and Barbara are in interior waiting room day, the most unpleasant waiting room that you ever remember waiting in. 50s furniture with broken legs, couches propped up on the telephone books, terrifying dead folk wait. Standing ashtrays with dirty stand. Linoleum floors patched 100 times. National Geographics with the covers torn off. The taken number registers in the millions. As the camera completes a circle of the room, we see a receptionist. She is the quintessential 50s receptionist. Tight sweater, bullet-breasted bra, bleached hair, red lipstick. She's wearing a ribbon across her breast reading Miss Argentina, and there are knife slashes across both her wrists.
You don't have an appointment, do you?
We didn't know how to make one.
An appointment for what?
What do you want?
We need some help.
Already? You just bit the big one 2 months ago and you want help?
2 months? What difference does that make?
Good luck. You're going to use up all your help vouchers.
Help vouchers?
D90s. You spent 125 years on Earth actually in that house, during which you only get 3 Class 1 D90 intersections with Juno. You probably haven't even read through the manual completely yet.
Why 3?
Typist behind the receptionist holds up both hands, each of which have only 3 fingers on them.
Rule number 3. Everything comes in threes.
Have an appointment.
How long do we have to wait?
Wait for who?
For Juno, your caseworker. Not that it matters to your type, but there are all these other people here ahead of you. I'd say 3 hours.
The waiting room is now filled with people, dead people, some in fairly awful states, a cornucopia of carnal shreddage. Adam and Barbara look around for a moment, then very quietly they reach out to grasp hands.
Number 54,601? Burned up?
Camera pushes in close. We dissolve to the interior attic landing day. Lydia kneels down with a screwdriver, a nail file, an ice pick, and a credit card. She inserts the nail file into the door. She struggles, and after several attempts, finally uses the ice pick, and pop! The door swings open ominously. Interior attic day. Lydia enters. The room is dim and filled with dust mites. There are shadows in all the corners. She bumps into a switch which engages the model sun and moon, and that eerily illuminates the model town. She's frightened and then entranced. She peers at it from different angles, her fear forgotten. She notes small tools scattered around the unfinished area. She continues around the model, oblivious to everything else. Then she kicks something, ducks under the table, and comes up with something. Holds it up to the light. It's the handbook. She looks through it, finds the marked page, looks at the chalk door. Interior office day. Barbara and Adam sit as though waiting for an IRS audit.
Cigarette?
Adam refuses.
Trying to cut down myself.
Is this what happens when you die? Is this what happens when you die?
The receptionist overhears. She points at Barbara.
This is what happens when you die. That is what happens when he dies. That is what happened when they die. It's highly personal. And I'll tell you something. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident.
She holds up her wrists and, smiling at her little joke, wriggles them, indicating her slashes.
Amen.
Barbara and Adam look at them. Corpses resume doing what they were doing, a grinding noise off screen. The receptionist looks up. Barbara and Adam also look off screen. A message delivery wire grinds along loudly on a pulley. The actual message is held in the hands of the messenger, a flattened corpse, suspended as if on a shirt clothesline, tire marks on his face and clothing. A major roadkill. Dust and gravel ground into him. He smiles wanly at Barbara and Adam as the receptionist takes a message on a piece of paper and reads it.
Maitland party of 2? Take your handbook and go to the 6th floor. 6th door.
Oh, we forgot our handbook.
Cut to interior attic day. Lydia is studying the handbook with intense interest.
Lydia, Delia needs your help.
Lydia gives one more look at the book, then goes to the door quickly and silently.
Right now, Delia says.
Interior office day.
Out that way, through the typing pool, down the corridor, 6th door on your left. 6th door, 2 3s. Airhead.
Barbara walked through the door. Interior typing pool day. A vast room of desks arranged in a grid straight out of How to Succeed in Business. Each desk is occupied too, but most of the secretaries are merely skeletons or moldering corpses slumped over their typewriters. Only one secretary, somewhere in the vast grid, is typing slowly with long pauses between words. A messenger on his return trip parallels Barbara and Adam as they walk along. Barbara can't look at him.
How do I look? There are no mirrors on this side.
Fine. You look fine.
Thanks. Oh, I've been feeling a little flat lately.
Another angle. He laughs at his own joke as he goes back through the very, very narrow slot in the wall where the line runs. Adam and Barbara look to the right and left. A vast stack of files slips off the desk and spills out onto the floor. Interior corridor day. Adam and Barbara enter corridor. Empty like a hotel corridor, but all the doors are of different types. A revolving door, a Dutch door, church doors. They walk past a waist-high window covered by a roll-up shade.
125 years? I can't believe it. I can't believe they didn't tell us.
She bumps into the shade and it rolls up flapping. She stares in through the window. Adam peers in too. Their POV, a smoldering mist-filled room. From the smoky plasma floats an occasional tortured soul. Unspeakably sad music wafts from within. They get only a glimpse of the bodies of this horrible human soup.
Adam, look at this.
Suddenly, floating up from below, immediately on the other side of the window, a white crepe face emerges. It seems to be that of a woman. Her eyes are red and blue tears rim them. Her pale skin is covered with a flaking crust of salt. She wears the saddest look ever. Her mouth opens plaintively, but no sound comes.
Oh, Adam, what is this?
The reflection joins them on their side of the window. A sinister little janitor, wizened and efficient, pulls the shade down firmly.
That's the Lost Souls room. A room for ghosts who have been exorcised. Poor devils. Death for the dead. It's all in the handbook. Keep moving.
And scuttles off. Adam and Barbara walk on sadly until they come to the door that looks exactly like the swinging door between the kitchen and dining room of their house.
This is it. The 6th door.
Puzzled, Barbara pushes it. Interior living room night. Everything is dark and quiet, but the furniture is obviously not theirs, and neither is the decoration. Adam and Barbara exchange glances.
This place just gets weirder and weirder. Barbara? We're home.
Look at this. Everything is different. All our furniture is gone.
How long do you suppose we were?
3 months.
Another angle. A spot comes on revealing Juno, their caseworker. She's an older woman, no nonsense about her. Overdressed in an outfit that includes a blouse with ruffled cuffs. We will at some point catch a glimpse of her slashed throat. She smokes heavily. Occasionally smoke puffs from her cut throat.
I nearly given up on you. I was about to leave. I do have other clients.
Are you Juno, our caseworker?
Yes, I evaluate individual cases and determine if help is needed, deserved, and available.
Are you available?
No. What's wrong?
We're very unhappy.
What do you expect? You're dead.
We'd like some help in getting rid of the people who moved in here. Barbara and I worked very hard on this house.
We probably wouldn't mind sharing the house with people who were...
Like you used to be?
Yes.
But these people...
He indicates a particularly bad piece of Delia's sculpture. Juno walks around it, shaking her head. Interior house. The following conversation takes place as Barbara and Adam follow Juno as she looks around the house and ends up in their attic space.
Things seem pretty quiet here. You should thank God you didn't die in Italy. The Deetzes. Okay. Have you been studying the manual?
We tried.
The intermediate interface chapter on haunting says it all. Get them out yourself. It's your house. Haunted houses don't come easy.
We don't quite get it.
Juno's watch buzzes. She stops it.
I heard. Tore your face right off. Bad news. It obviously doesn't do any good to pull your heads off in front of people if they can't see you.
We have to start simpler. Is that it?
Start simply. Do what you know. Use your talents. Practice. We only help those who help themselves. Just do a little at a time, and of course, practice, practice, practice. It's tricky, but you weren't murderers by any chance, were you?
No.
No, pity. Murderers seem to have an easy time of it. Just look at Amityville. He was one of my boys. Didn't have to give that one any lessons from day one. But I must be off. I've got a plane load of football players crashed in the Midwest. They need a lot of help, just with the basics.
Points at her head indicating dumbness.
We have trouble. What about the guy in the flyer?
Don't say his name. You don't want his help.
Adam and Barbara look at each other, puzzled.
Oh, we might.
Interior attic night. Juno peers into the model cemetery with interest. A fly buzzes around her. Juno blows it away. The fly flees.
No, you don't. He does not work well with others.
What do you mean? What's he do?
A grave look comes over Juno's face as the light changes to suggest someone telling a ghost story around a campfire.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but rather than have you stumble into it and make another mistake, I'll tell you. He was my assistant, but he was a troublemaker. He went out on his own as a freelance bio-exorcist, claims to get rid of the living. Got into more trouble. You remember the Chicago fire?
Adam and Barbara look at each other. Juno continues.
He was demoted to a grade 6 malevolent spirit. He's been imprisoned on that plane ever since. In fact, I believe he's been sleazing around your cemetery lately. He can only be brought back by saying his name 3 times.
Adam and Barbara attempt to interrupt.
But I strongly suggest that you remove the Deetzes yourself.
She takes a final drag on the cigarette and smoke billows out of the hole in her throat. Juno starts to fade.
And if we need you again, how do we...
Juno fades, gone. Barbara goes to the model, looks at the cemetery.
That guy is in our cemetery. Oh, Adam.
Look, she's right. We'll just start simple, honey. Be tougher. Feel confident. Come on.
They exit. Camera follows action over the model. The fly buzzes. It lands and crawls along the model of the cemetery. The fly, resplendently green and iridescent, pauses and fiddles with its eerie parts. Starts to walk by.
Psst, over here.
Fly stops, tilts its multi-eyed head. Another angle. 2 hands come up from the earth of that grave holding a candy bar.
Oh, we'll have a little bite. Something to nosh.
The flattered fly walks over to the grave. In a flash, the hand grabs the struggling fly and dance it like a doll over the grave, and then pull it into the earth. Beetlejuice cackles.
Come here.
Maniacal laugh grows from the grave. Wind blows as the fly disappears. Ivy whips away from the gravestone. We see for the first time the chiseled name, Beetlejuice. A clap of thunder. Clap. Interior, Charles' study, night. Charles is on the phone. He has drawings laid out in front of him. He is at his most urban, persuasive, and oddly relaxed. He is finally in his own element.
Maxie, have I not always made you money? I think that is the only real question here.
Interior, Maxie's office, night. New York office, cool design, black couch, and Maxie Dean, a 55-year-old super tan, white-haired wheeler dealer. Sign says, Chairman of Botco Industries. Maxie looks rich, and he looks cool as he talks to Charles. Behind him, Sarah, his rich-looking blonde wife, is looking at herself in a mirror.
Well, Charles, no one has made money for me like you until your nerves went. You were a demon. It's just that Winter River, Connecticut is, you'll forgive me, nowhere. Why would I invest that kind of money to build up an old building? Way the hell up there.
Intercut conversation.
Not a building, that's the beauty of it. I think I can buy the whole town. These people don't know the value of their property.
Then we own a whole town full of nowhere?
No. Come on, Max. You know me. I've got plans. You got to come up here and see. Then I'll tell you about it.
Maxie isn't much interested.
Well, sure, Charles, but I am busy here. You know how it was when you were active?
This burns Charles, but he follows it. He hears something in the corridor outside, a kind of low moaning.
Just a minute, Maxie. Somebody.
No, listen, we'll talk about this visiting later. I gotta go. Take it easy up there, big fella.
Listen, think right about it, will you? We've almost got the house ready. You bring Sarah with you and I'll show you.
Yeah. We'll think on it. Bye, Charles. Relax up there, you hear?
Maxie hangs up, shakes his head.
Putz.
Interior of Charles's study, night. Charles hangs up frustrated. Moaning increases. He goes to the door and flings it open. A figure is right there in the doorway, a ghost under a sheet, but a designer sheet. He wails away like a banshee. Eye holes cut in sheet. Charles jumps and recovers.
Oh, Jesus, Lydia. Is Connecticut so boring?
On Barbara, she stands back away from the door, observing skeptically.
I had Maxie Dean on the phone. But darling, Dad's found a way to make some money here while I relax, so scram!
He slams the door, turns around, then turns around again and jerks the door open. The ghost is retreating, beaten.
And your mother is going to kill you when she sees you cut holes in her $300 sheets.
He slams the door again. Interior upstairs hallway, night. Adam helps Barbara on with her sheet.
God, this is so corny. Have we been reduced to this? Sheets?
Think of them as death shrouds. And the moaning is important. Really moan. Practice, practice, practice.
Interior master bedroom, night. Television still going. Delia asleep with curlers. Adam and Barbara glide inside, go over and stand beside the bed. They moan loudly like spooky ghosts. Interior Lydia's room, night. She has her ever-present camera around her neck. Suddenly hears moans from her parents' room. Thinking it is people, cringes, covers her ears.
Oh, how can he stand that woman? Hey! Cut it out. I'm a child, for God's sakes.
The noise gets weirder. Lydia Interior master bedroom, night. Adam and Barbara moan and groan. Delia doesn't stir.
I feel really stupid.
It's not stupid. We're ghosts. You want this woman for breakfast for 125 years? Moan louder.
Barbara moans louder and more weirdly. Delia stirs, sits up, but doesn't open her eyes. Adam and Barbara are excited then, disappointed as Delia fumbles on the bedside table for the remote control device and without opening her eyes, turns off the television set. Then she turns over and is lost to the world totally. Barbara sighs. She and Adam walk toward the door. When they open it, however, Lydia is standing there in her pajamas. She snaps a flash Polaroid, and Adam and Barbara jump backwards with the yelps of fright.
Sick. Sexual perversion. If you're gonna do weird sexual stuff, you ought to stay in your bedroom, okay?
Lydia starts back into her room, then looks at the developing photograph. Something catches her eye.
No feet. Are you the guys who are hiding out in the attic?
We're ghosts.
What do you look like under there?
Aren't you scared?
Not scared of Ralph Lauren. Those are sheets. Are you gross under there? Are you Night of the Living Dead under there? Like all bloody veins and pus?
What?
Night of the Living Dead. It's a movie.
If I had seen a ghost at your age, I would have been frightened out of my wits.
Not gross. Why were you wearing a sheet?
We're practicing.
You can actually see us without the sheets?
This like a trick question?
Tell the truth.
Of course I can see you.
How is it that you can see us and nobody else can?
Well, I read through the handbook for the recently deceased. It says that live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
You look like a regular girl to me.
Lydia blushes. Barbara smiles warmly. She's beginning to like Lydia.
You read our book? Could you follow it?
Lydia nods.
Why are you creeping around Delia's bedroom?
We were trying to scare your mother.
Stepmother. I'm very sensitive about being related to reptiles.
Barbara smiles.
You can't scare her. She's sleeping with Prince Valium tonight.
Interior attic room, night. Adam's rigged up the moon and stars, too. Adam and Barbara and Lydia stand just beyond the fringes of the town, dimly lighted giants.
You did this? You carved all these little figurines and houses and things?
I certainly did. I'd finish it too, but I don't get out much.
And this used to be your house. I bet. Well, why do you want to scare everybody?
We want to frighten you away so that you'll move out.
You don't know the Deetzes very well, do you? My father bought this place. He never walks away from equity. Why don't you leave?
We can't. We haven't left the house since the funeral.
Funeral. God, you guys really are dead. This is amazing.
So we're muted. Lydia!
I better go.
Wait, I don't think it would be a very good idea if you told your parents that we're up here.
Unless you think it would scare them off.
Lydia starts to exit.
You tell them that we are desperate, horrible, ghoulish creatures who will stop at nothing to get back our house.
Wait a minute. What if this is a dream? Can you do any tricks to prove I'm not dreaming?
Barbara shakes her head, a little ashamed.
Well, if you are real ghosts, you better get another routine because those sheets don't work.
She sneaks a smile at Barbara and exits. Exterior of house, day. A big, ugly machine is doing something unnecessary to the yard. Interior dark room / basement, day. A fast ticking clock is a timer. Lydia is making Polaroid enlargements. She's quick and expert at this. She's examining a print with a magnifying glass. Interior kitchen, day. Delia is frantically preparing for the evening's dinner party. Lydia is very much in her way, trying to show her the photographs. Delia isn't looking at them.
I can't believe you are doing this to me. Ghosts, I'm giving a dinner party for 7 people tonight. Otho has agreed to come back for the demolition of the attic. My agent Bernard is bringing some woman who writes for Art in America. In fact, no one here tonight has not been in Vanity Fair, except you. You're too mean to be. Oh, sorry.
I told them you were too mean to be afraid.
Don't you dare talk to others about me. I'm an artist. The only thing that scares me is being embarrassed in front of my friends. Do you know how hard it is to get civilized people to set foot in this part of Connecticut? So let's play family just for tonight,
Lydia exits angrily. Camera hinges. Barbara is watching, horrified at Delia's occupation of her, Barbara's, kitchen. Adam appears.
Lydia's trying, but they don't believe her.
She's got photos, Barbara.
Adam, you had a photo of Bigfoot.
This is different. Eventually she'll take someone to the attic. And then what? You've got to try this guy Beetlemeyer. Doesn't help, hon.
Interior attic room, later, day. Adam looks intently through the book. Barbara's eye is caught by something in the model cemetery. She moves over and sees a small gravestone lit up by neon. Adam comes over and looks.
I didn't do that one.
It's him. Look. How do I say it? Do I say it normal or like Beetlejuice?
I think so.
Just say it normal.
Okay, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
He looks at Adam. Should I? Adam chews his lip thoughtfully.
Go ahead, Barbara. Say it.
Beetlejuice.
Zap! They are transported into the model graveyard. Exterior, inside the model graveyard, night. The wind blows. With shovels and lanterns, Adam and Barbara are unlikely grave diggers. The mechanized clouds move in the sky across the mechanical moon, throwing weird shadows everywhere. Ground fog creeps slowly along the graves. It is so eerie.
What happened?
I think we're in the model.
Where is he? What do we do?
Adam looks down at the grave. Knocks on the stone. Nothing. Shovels fall from a tree.
Looks like we dig, Barbara.
He hands her a shovel and she digs. Exterior, inside the model graveyard, later, night. They're almost down 6 feet. By now they are both almost out of sight in the grave. Inside the grave, Adam suddenly hits wood.
About time.
They lean down and brush dirt off the brass plate on the coffin. Beetlejuice.
Guess we open it.
Maybe we should knock first?
A slight tremor shakes them. They look at each other and try to scramble from the grave. They just barely crawl out when a moldering corpse springs out of the grave and floats above their head.
Adam! Babs!
It lands and plants a 1,000-year-old kiss on Barbara's lips. She screams and burbles. Adam pulls the corpse off. This is one slippery customer. Beetlejuice speaks in a rapid polyglot, choosing words and phrases from every slang in the world. Barbara is mighty uneasy.
Boy, do you know how to pick 'em. Is this a solid relationship? Do I have a shot?
Excuse me.
Sure. Am I overstepping my bounds? Just tell me. Come on. You know what it's really like? You know what's really beautiful about this? You picked me. You didn't have to, but you picked me. It makes me want to kiss you guys.
He tries again. Barbara backs away.
No!
I beg your pardon.
All right, let's get down to business. I got a card around here somewhere. Who do I have to kill? Here, hold this for me, will you?
He hands Barbara a rat from his pocket.
Whoa!
He drops it.
You don't have to kill anybody.
Ah, possession. Learn to throw your voice for your friends. Fun at parties.
Barbara realizes his voice is coming out from her mouth. She shrieks.
No, we just want to get some people out of our house.
Understand. In order to do that, I have to get to know you guys. We've got to get closer. Move in with you for a while. Get to be real pals. You know what I'm saying?
My wife and I have a couple of questions.
Sure. Go ahead.
For instance, what are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague and I had a pretty good time during that. And I've seen The Exorcist 160 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
What I mean is, can you be scary?
Oh, I know what you're asking me. Can I be scary?
Beetlejuice turns around and makes a lewd gesture.
What do you think of this?
Beetlejuice faces the Maitlands as tentacles pop out of his head. They scream.
Ah!
You like that?
Will you excuse us, please?
Sure. Talk amongst yourselves.
I know, but he can be useful.
No. We can work something out ourselves.
Beetlejuice tries to look up Barbara's skirt with a twig. It hasn't aged well.
The twig?
Was that parenthetical?
It hasn't aged well.
Both the joke and
Oh no.
Hey.
Excuse me.
what?
We are leaving now.
Beetlejuice jumps up Adam's back.
Don't go yet. Come on now. We're simpatico. Look at us. We shop at the same store.
Beetlejuice
Hermanos.
is literally wearing the same outfit as Adam. He shakes Adam's hand and touches Barbara's stomach.
Face it, we're like peas in a pod, the three of us. You want someone out of the house? I want to get someone out of your house. You've been to Saturn. Huh? I've been to Saturn. Sandworm's right. You hate him. I hate him. Kids, what do I have to do to strike a deal with you two?
His head spins round and round. He yells like a maniac.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Let's go, Barbara.
Wait, come on. Just come up for a while. We'll talk inside. Come on. The place is a mess. I'll fix something for you to eat.
I'm not staying. Home.
Beetlejuice turns around and sees that they're gone.
Hey, come on. You got to work with me here. I'm just trying to cut a deal. Wait, what do you want me to do, huh? Where are you going? You bunch of losers. You're working with a professional here. Nice fucking model.
Beetlejuice kicks a tree. Interior attic day. A small tree falls in the bottle. Adam across the room walks over and straightens it.
Honey, I think that was a mistake.
I am not going to expose that little girl to that pervert down there.
I think we really pissed him off.
I don't care.
But we let him out.
I've changed my mind. I feel really confident. We're getting better at this stuff. We can scare them off ourselves tonight. I've got an idea. You're going to love it. I'm going to hate it.
Adam turns to look down at the model again, straightens the tree, turns away. We can see a tiny light moving through the tiny model forest towards the house.
Hi-ho. It's off to work I go.
Interior dining room night. Dinner for 7 is promised. Everything looks very nice. Deetzes are in control and in their element. The element is neurotic chic. Some of the guests are affecting distaste for having had to make it the long drive to Connecticut. There's a feud going on between Grace, the Art in America writer, and Bernard, Delia's agent, that threatens to become a full-scale war. Otho is drunk-ish and engaged in his third favorite occupation, direct attacks on the personal weaknesses of his friends. Singled out his victim, Beryl, the editor for Valentine, a frail-looking woman who is dressed artistically. Delia looks at her agent expectantly. So, Bernard looks at her sculptures. They are terrifying.
You like them?
She's giddy.
I just hope it wasn't yet another of your dreary suicide attempts. You know what they say about people who commit suicide. In the afterlife, they become civil servants.
Otho, I didn't know you were into the supernatural.
Of course you remember. After my stint with the Living Theater, I was one of New York's leading paranormal researchers until the bottom dropped out of the business in '72.
Paranormal. Is that what they're calling your kind now?
Don't mind her. She's still upset that someone dropped a house on her sister.
Well, this looks really good.
I saw some ghosts.
It's a private joke Lydia and I share.
It's not a joke.
Yes, it is. Just today, tried to convince me this house is haunted. Kids, you know I love them.
Otho's glance sharpens at this. Everyone else listens.
Hi, ghosts.
What else?
In designer sheets, no less.
Charles, seeing things aren't going well for Delia, proposes a toast.
I propose a toast to our intrepid friends who braved the expressway and 14 toll booths to visit us. May your buildings go condo.
Otho is more interested in Lydia's story. He leans toward her.
Now, Lydia, favor us about your ghosts.
No, I'm sick of that subject.
Oh, Delia, lighten up.
I would rather talk about...
But then, Delia, something comes over her. She straightens, then crouches a little. Her head sweeps across in front of her, almost mechanically, and then our Delia Deetz, unable to help herself, leaves the world behind and possessed, sings in someone else's voice.
It's cute, Delia.
Otho, are you doing this?
Charles, too, has the beat, Belafonte in his eyes. In a voice not his own, he rises with Delia. Delia's shocked. She looks at Lydia. All guests except Lydia are possessed to become the chorus. Their napkins wipe their own faces.
I'm gonna go home.
What?
Come on, we love and call.
Go home.
A look of sheer delight comes across Lydia's face, unlike anything we have previously seen. She dances and claps her hands in time with the music. She is in teen heaven. Otho overturns an icebox, using it as a drum. Note, Delia and the guests are fully aware of their singing and actions, but helpless to stop themselves. While it is funny, it is nevertheless just a little frightening. Lydia excitedly looks around the room to see if she can see the ghosts. She can't. Now the song pauses. Everyone tries to recover for a shocked second. Instead, the tempo changes. As the tempo quickens, the guest/chorus is syncopated like alternating pistons as they are pushed and pulled into their chairs. They sing throughout. The song crashes to its end. Bernard looks down at his shrimp cocktail. The shrimp draped over the rice roll suddenly rears up like a hand, making a tiny fist grabs his dangling tie and smash wider. All the guests are punched by the shrimp, backed over their chairs to the ground. They are stunned. Suddenly, everyone runs frightened into the next room. Interior, exterior, attic, room, night. Adam and Barbara, with huge smiles on their faces, dance the boogaloo, then hug and kiss on the landing in front of the attic. The door is open.
We did it.
We did it. Let's watch them splatter.
They enter the attic and run to the window, look out the front yard. The yard of the house, their POV, night. Filled with the cars of the guests, as well as Delia and Charles's vehicles.
Any minute now, they'll all run screaming.
Back to scene. They wait, nothing moving outside.
Any minute now.
They wait. There's a timid knock at the door of the attic. Barbara glances at Adam. They don't know what to do.
It's me, Lydia.
Adam, puzzled, goes to the door and opens it. Lydia is standing there, sheepish.
They'd like for you to come downstairs. Delia says you can pick any sheets you want.
Interior living room night. The guests are sitting expectantly. The photographs are being passed around. The wheels are turning in Charles's mind. He sees a gold mine. Everyone speaks at once.
It was like being in an amusement park. Blam!
Walking through the calypso.
Who has more fun than us?
We're dealing with Tracy and Hepburn here, a very sophisticated pair, even if they do appear in sheets.
Charles, I want to know why you didn't tell me about this.
We weren't sure. We wanted our secret out. Everyone is going to want them for their parties.
People will pay big money for this, right, Grace? The Inquirer is offering $50K for proof of life after death.
50,000?
Charles plots and plans.
This is it, Charles. You can get Maxie Dean up here now. His wife, Sarah, loves the supernatural. I did a reading for her just last week. Told her jowls would tighten soon. I mean, she will make him sprint up here in his helicopter if you can produce ghosts for her.
I'm Delia's agent. I've lost money for years on her work. If anything actually happened there, I'll handle it. Thank you, but not until I see some real proof.
What was that just now? And don't you believe in my work?
Lydia appears at the base of the stairs. Everyone stops squabbling, looks at her expectantly.
They don't want to come down.
Why not?
Bernard shakes his head as if all of this were an elaborate hoax. He harumphs.
Rumph.
The reason is they were trying to scare you, and you didn't get scared.
Please, they're dead. It's a little late to be neurotic.
Bernard is now convinced this whole business was a put on.
All right.
I was a little tipsy.
This was not a hallucination, people. This was real. Really, totally real.
Of course, they were rather spectacular effects. For Connecticut, I mean.
All presences have a home space, a place where they live, so to speak. Where do they hide out?
The attic.
The attic room is locked.
They're ghosts. They do what they want.
Fabulous Ortho Fenlock's locked door ghosts probably committed suicide up there, hanging like beeves from the rafters. I'm totally enchanted.
Bernard gathers Grace and Beryl walks out the door.
Delia, you are a flake. You have always been a flake. I'm packing up and going back to the tricks of the city. That I can manage. If you must frighten people, do it with your sculpture.
They exit. Delia is horrified and embarrassed.
Wait! I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Lydia, is this some high-tech trick of yours? I want you to take us up there. Just meet.
Interior landing outside of attic. Delia, Charles, Otho, and Lydia. Creak, creak.
Shh. They're in there? God, they live like animals. This is where they've been hiding out.
Lydia nods. Delia suddenly brashly pounds on the door.
All right, you dead people, come on out, or we'll break down this door and drag you out on the ropes you hanged yourself with. Shh.
You didn't commit suicide.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you something here, Lydia. You've got to take the right tone in things like this, or people, whether they're dead or alive, people will walk all over you. Come on out, or I will make death so miserable that you will wish you had never lived.
Delia pounds on the door, which opens with an eerie creak. Interior attic, day. Lydia is pushed in first. She looks around. Delia, Charles, and Otho come in next, carefully. One by one, they straighten up and look around.
So where are they, Lydia?
Lydia shrugs and looks around.
Answer your mother.
Listen, guys, these ghosts are really nice people. I think we scared them off. Let's just leave them alone, okay?
Charles is suddenly transfixed. He stares at the model.
It's the whole damn town.
They gather around. Lydia is a little sad as she looks at the empty room and the model.
Look at that detail.
Look at the tiny figures.
Look at all that parking.
Come on, leave their stuff alone.
They're not here, Lydia?
She shakes her head. Otho spots the handbook, palms it.
I have never been so embarrassed. They haven't gone for good, have they?
Delia is suddenly out the door, urging them all outside.
Everyone out of there. If they're in there somewhere, I don't want to scare them away. Come on now, stay out of there. We've got work to do. We're leaving now, so you can go about your business.
Otho pockets the handbook secretly as everyone exits. Delia carefully closes the door. Camera eases over to the window. We see two pairs of hands, white-knuckled, gripping the windowsill from the outside. Exterior house night. Barbara and Adam are hanging outside the window. The camera eases back to see that instead of hanging from the house, they are hanging from the ledge over the inferno. On the inferno, circles of rosy hell. Several devilish monsters slaver up at them, hoping for new meat for the furnace. Small geysers spurt foul gases. Winds blow hard on Adam and Barbara. They struggle to hold on and pull themselves back up and into the window.
Juno, help! Juno!
After nearly falling, Adam barely saves Barbara and they finally make it up and disappear into the window. Interior attic landing night. Delia, Charles, and Otho all start down the stairs one by one, are all holding the handrail.
Now, let's get back to business. I want to get Maxie, Dean, and Sarah up here immediately. I can make history here. I'm going to turn this sleepy little backward town into a leading supernatural research center, an amusement park.
I cannot believe this.
Delia will cook.
Delia glares at him.
I'll bring the wine and the business plan. And Lydia, you'll bring the ghost.
You can't bring the ghosts. They're not here. Why don't you just leave them alone? They didn't do anything to you.
Otho, could you actually do something with them?
Perhaps if I were properly motivated.
You don't know them. They're nice people.
Point of view down the handrail as they walk downstairs. Lydia lags behind, sullen. Lower end of the handrail lifts and turns. The handrail has become a long, fat, diamondback snake, unlike any we have ever seen. It flashes terrifying steel teeth and a red feathered comb. It turns and hisses at them. On Delia, she screams as she looks down in her hand on the rail. It grips the scaly, throbbing, dripping body of the snake. The snake just gets longer and nastier as it turns back in the air, up the stairs toward them. Its tail circles Delia and spins her like a top. When she stops, the snake gives her a big, wet snake kiss. The snake snaps Otho in the behind. It hurts. The snake, cackling all the way, rears up and spreads a red comb and hisses loudly. All three of them fall over each other trying to escape. The snake hovers horribly over them, grabs Charles in its coils and squeezes him hard. His fearful face reddens. Then it suspends Charles over the edge of the stairs.
We've come for your daughter, Chuck.
He leers at Lydia and drops Charles like a rock over the banister. Charles screams. The snake grins at a terrified Lydia. The snake rears back for a strike when suddenly, like thunder, one word is heard.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Snake looks up with familiar eyes. At the top of the stairs stands an angry Barbara. What happens next is almost too fast for the eye to see.
Oh, no.
Shrinks and turns back into a regular mahogany handrail. Beetlejuice, or his outline, whips up the stairs through the door and is gone like a rocket.
Rat shit!
Otho and Delia rush downstairs. Lydia's terrified. She runs away.
Why are you doing this? Leave me alone, all of you!
No, wait!
Lydia screams and runs down the stairs. Slowly, Barbara returns to the attic. Interior attic night. Adam and Barbara are exhausted, agitated.
Great choice we've got here. We get to spend the next century either hanging out that window or doing parlor tricks.
Adam is working with a model town. Barbara is pacing.
Maybe they'll leave now. That snake was a pretty nasty customer.
He might have hurt somebody.
But he didn't. Got him where we want him.
On the model, a column of water shoots high in the air. Adam rushes over to the model, looks down. Interior model day. Beetlejuice has run a beat-up old pickup into a fire hydrant. He stands nearby, hopping mad. He shakes his fist at Adam.
You bunch of losers! How dare you do that to me? How dare you interrupt a professional while he's working?
In the attic, Barbara and Adam, obviously disturbed, look at one another with concern.
Why did you do that to me?
I'm not fond of Charles Deetz particularly, but you could have killed him.
Hey, I'm just doing my job. I thought we had a deal. Hey, it's no big deal. You know why? Because I don't want to do business with deadbeats anyways. Thank you. The only one I can think I can deal with is Edgar Allan Poe's daughter. I think she understands me.
Angry, Barbara reaches down into the model and plucks Beetlejuice up. Barbara lifts him up towards her, squeezing him slightly.
You leave her alone, you horrid little prick.
Close up, Beetlejuice in Barbara's hand. Beetlejuice grins. Suddenly, large spikes shoot out all over his body, piercing the skin of Barbara's palm and fingers. Barbara's blood is a rich pink. She squeals and releases the evil spirit as he pumps. Exterior model day. Beetlejuice lands in the town common. He is defiant.
Go ahead. Make my millennium.
Angle. We hear the tinny strains of Honky Tonk Angel as if from down the street. He turns around to follow it.
Feeling a little anxious, you know what I mean? It's been 600 years after all. Wonder where a guy like me, regular Joe, can find some action.
He turns the corner to a whorehouse with women with demon horns hanging out of the window, beckoning. Beetlejuice rubs his hands together and swaggers inside. Interior attic day. Barbara asks, watching this from above.
Adam, why did you build that?
I didn't.
Angle. He doesn't finish. A strong wind blows through the attic, nearly knocking Barbara and Adam over. They close their eyes against the gale. When they open their eyes again, they're no longer in the attic. They're in the interior of Juno's outer office day. A cubicle in a much larger office. Miss Argentina swishes by.
God, you have got her steaming now.
She exits. There are a bunch of there are other special workers. The place is really, really busy. Adam and Barbara sit down to wait. Juno storms through with a sheaf of papers. She sees them. She is steaming mad.
The whorehouse was my idea. I want Beetlejuice out of the picture. We got some serious talking to do.
About what?
You people have really screwed up. I received word that you allowed yourselves to be photographed, and you let Beetlejuice out and didn't put him back, and you let Otho get a hold of the handbook.
Handbook? When?
Never trust the living. We cannot have a routine haunting like yours provided incontrovertible visual proof of existence beyond death.
Well, we didn't know.
A bunch of football players follow Juno like hungry dogs.
Hey, Coach, where's the men's room?
I'm not your coach. She survived.
You don't need a men's room. You're not no man no more. But Coach, let me get this. What's our curfew over here?
They start squabbling. Juno has to wrangle them into another room.
I'll be right back.
Exterior veranda day. Charles and Delia sit outside. His head is bandaged.
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Who are we kidding? You've never had a bad idea.
Yeah, this could all work out. Home. Though I'm not sure that this is the right environment for Lydia. Snakes, ghosts.
Otho walks out in a kimono holding a cocktail.
Oh, you family types. You've got other things to worry about. Maxie Dean is coming tonight. I'll figure out a way to sell those ghosts. I can only do so much.
What are you going to do? Visually, viciously or rearrange their environment?
I know just as much about the supernatural as I do about interior design.
Dissolve to interior of Lydia's bedroom day. It's dark. The bedroom curtains have been closed. Dramatic opera music builds throughout. Lydia, melodramatically dressed in a long black dress, appears carrying a candle. She is softly crying. She sits at her dressing table. The candlelight shows her writing paper. She begins a very dramatic letter.
I am alone.
She looks at it and, crumpling the paper, starts again.
I am utterly alone. At the time you read this, I will be gone, having jumped.
She scratches that out.
Having plummeted off the Winter River Bridge.
A tear falls on the paper as she folds it and puts it in an envelope. Opera music builds and continues. Interior Juno's office continues.
So I don't care what it takes. You get the Deetzes out of there now.
Barbara and Adam get up.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you doing? What are you going to do? To scare them? I want to make sure it's not some parlor trick.
I'll go first, honey.
Adam shapes his face into a hideous monster, eyeballs removable.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Now you.
Barbara does the same.
Good. Go clean house. And don't forget the photographs and the handbook.
They leave. The football team enters.
Coach, I don't think we survived that crash.
How'd you guess?
She puffs her cigarette. Interior attic, night.
Mr. and Mrs. Maitland, where are you? Barbara?
They're dead.
Lydia looks around, then peers into the model.
Think small. I'm talking to you.
Exterior model town, building roof day. A tiny Beetlejuice on the roof of a building wearing a kimono. He sunbathes, cucumbers over his eyes.
Cookie, they are dead. Dead ski.
Of course they're dead. They're ghosts.
No, I mean they've gone. Decamped. Split. Vanished. Afterlife kids. Deceased.
Where'd they go?
The happy hunting ground. Who cares?
Are you a ghost too?
I'm the ghost with the most, babe. You know, you look like someone I can relate to. Maybe you can help me get out of here. Because I gotta tell you, this death thing is just too creepy.
Peter just kills and eats a roach.
See, I've got friends on the outside I said I'd meet, you know? And it's kind of like this thing where I've got to be there in person, you know? So I was just wondering, could you help me get out of here?
Lydia sighs.
I want to get in.
Why? Well, hey, you know, you probably got your reasons. But thing is, I can't do anything from here. If you could get me out over there, maybe we could talk or something, but then you've got to say my name 3 times. So.
Why not?
Wait. Oh, I can't. Oh, well, I can't tell you. Why not? Well, you know why? Because if I tell you, you tell your friends, and they're calling me on the horn all the time. I gotta show up for openings, sign autographs, shit like that. And it makes my life a living hell. Okay, a living hell. But maybe if you have a pen, maybe we can, I don't know. You ever play charades?
Yeah.
Good. Here we go. Ready?
Holds up 2 fingers in a V.
2 words.
Holds up 1 finger.
First word.
Puts 2 fingers on his arm.
2 syllables.
He points behind her, fumbling for her to turn.
I don't know what that signal means.
Just turn around and look behind you.
Angle. Lydia looks behind her. A Greek beetle the size of a Volkswagen is crouching. Its feathery antennae reach out towards her menacingly. Lydia yelps.
Hi, how are you?
Beetle.
Got it. Now, 2.
Okay.
Pop, the beetle disappears. Beetlejuice holds up 2 fingers.
Second word.
Angle, apprehensive, she jumps when a simple carton of orange juice materializes. Orange juice pours out into a ghostly glass.
Beetle breakfast, beetle fruits, beetle drink, beetle juice.
Oh, that's it.
Your name is Beetlejuice?
Oh, now you said it twice. Just say it one more time. Come on.
It was you, wasn't it? You were the snake, right? It was you.
No, what snake? You kids in your imagination. Just say it.
No. I want to talk to Barbara.
No, you don't need to talk to Barbara. Just say it.
Outside Juno's office, they enter a long, dark hallway. They suddenly find themselves standing in front of Lydia's room. Adam/Monster looks at Barbara/Monster as he grabs the doorknob. She stops him. Tears fall down her sad, ghostly face.
Adam, I can't do it. I like that little girl.
It's too late, honey. We have to, honey.
No, we don't. We can rebel or something. We'll just stay up there in our room. I'll read. You can build on the model. Come on.
She rushes up the stairs toward the attic. He follows her.
Barbara.
She gets to the door and grabs the handle.
I want to be with Lydia.
She throws open the door. Interior attic day. Lydia is standing over the model, about to say Beetlejuice's name.
Just say it!
Barbara/Monster, horrified, screams.
Ah! Lydia, no!
Adam/Monster runs to grab her. Lydia is terrified and screams.
No, don't say it.
You say it!
Slips off the roof into a patch of thorny bushes. Interior attic night. Lydia screams. Adam/Monster tries to calm her. Lydia struggles and, thinking she is about to be attacked, runs out the door. Smack into Barbara/Monster. Barbara catches her, frightens Lydia even more. Barbara holds on to her as she struggles. Barbara/Monster slowly changes back into regular Barbara. Lydia sees who it is and she hugs her like mother and daughter. On Adam, slowly returning to himself, he smiles slightly at the scene.
You lily-livered bleeding hearts.
Oh, Lydia, it's us. I'm so sorry we frightened you. What is going on?
Beetlejuice.
Barbara quickly puts her hand over her mouth.
He said if I let him out, he would take me over to the other side to find you.
No, Lydia, we're dead.
I want to be dead too.
No, you don't. No, Lydia, why?
Life is just unlivable.
Barbara hugs her. She fumbles for words. This is an unusual situation. A dead person talking a live person out of killing herself. She rocks Lydia a little. Barbara looks at Adam.
Lydia, being dead really doesn't make things any easier.
Lydia looks at Barbara lovingly.
Listen to her on this, Lydia. This is something we know a lot about.
And you can come up here and visit us anytime you want. I have a feeling things are going to be a little better around here from now on.
What do you mean better?
Well, we've decided that we're going to invite you and your family to stay.
That's right, Lydia.
Adam/Monster huffs around a little. He's trying to change back into Adam, except for his nose, which remains like a beak for a minute. Finally, it changes to Lydia and Barbara laugh at him. Without noticing Lydia, Otho and Charles push in through the door and grab the model. Adam is beside himself, doesn't know what to do. Barbara stops him from taking action.
Why can't we bring Maxie up here?
You've got a stake in this too. This is a presentation. It requires a certain sense of occasion, a sense of style. It's so big. How are we going to get it out?
It's sectional. Get it on both ends.
Wait, there are plugs.
Careful.
Okay, go.
What is going on?
Find out.
She runs out the door.
Be careful.
Interior hallway night. Lydia runs through the hallway and into the dining room. Interior dining room night. Lydia walks into a presentation in progress. Sitting around the table are Otho, Maxie, and Delia. Sarah Dean is there too. She looks around Lydia, hoping for ghosts. Sarah is heavily made up. Smells bad. Lydia's photos of the sheeted ghosts are blown up and standing on a nearby easel. Charles, over the model with a pointer, is lost in mid-sentence.
We've got Ed Cornwall to head the Wax Museum, dedicated to 50 great moments of the paranormal here in Thanksgiving Park. Now, you must remember Ed, Maxie. He's the genius who gave us the talking Marcel Marceau statue. It was a sensation. And Decon is on its knees to sponsor the insect zoo. Here, at the old hardware store. We can't lose. Lydia, you finally decided to join us.
They all give her an oily smile.
Honey, I am just finishing the first phase presentation about our little project here, and then we'll take a stretch to invite our friends to meet your friends.
Sarah gets Maxie's attention and, unable to contain her excitement, silently urges him to get on with the ghosts.
Are they here yet?
Charles, we're here to see some ghosts.
Everyone looks at Lydia.
They're not here anymore.
Nonsense. Every time she says that, the paint peels and some wild creature tries to kill us. We've got these pictures, Lydia.
No, really, they said they might come back and all if all of us could live in peace if you just agreed not to tease them or make them do silly tricks.
Sarah's disappointed. She goes to Maxie. Delia takes over.
She has a tendency to overreact, but we aren't relying on her. No, we rely on professionals. We have Otho.
The whole room turns to Otho, who's scribbling something and mumbling.
Are they still here, Otho?
Otho looks up. He missed the question.
Are they still here, Otho?
Oh, they're still here. They're just hiding out.
No, they're probably guilty about what they did to me.
Yeah, they're sorry they didn't kill you.
I don't care from guilt. I just want to see them.
Although, can you do it?
It's tricky, but I think I can handle it.
No! Lydia begins to think about this scene and she shifts to another point of view.
Wait a minute. What am I worried about? Otho, you can't even change a tire.
I'll need something personal of theirs.
I'll have to go to the Goodwill.
Delia gets an idea.
Excuse me.
Exterior house, night. The moon stares icily through gray clouds. Wind up. Interior attic, night. Barbara is looking out the window.
You know, I've been thinking. I could teach Lydia to sew.
Little black party dresses?
No, Adam, you don't know anything about little girls. She's just missed out on some love, that's all.
Interior dining room, night. Delia carefully brings out a big plastic bag, lays something out on the dining room table. Otho lights a candle.
I'm deeply sentimental about weddings.
Lydia stands to see. Delia carefully lays out Barbara's white wedding dress. Then next to it, Adam's wedding tux. Lydia looks at it. A chill runs through her.
Their wedding clothes.
Their wedding clothes.
Otho holds up the handbook.
The words.
Otho nods. Interior living room, night. Lydia is nervous now. Delia turns out the lights.
Hands vermilion, star of 5, bright cotillion, ravens dive, nightshades promise, spirits strive, to the living, let now the dead come alive.
Nothing happens. Lydia nervously turns away.
Woo!
Angle, then a sizzle, a tiny crackle. Along one side of the square, lightning flashes. Interior attic, night. Barbara, with her arm on his shoulder, talks to Adam.
Oh, yes, me. We've been given a gift here, honey. A real, live little girl. She likes us a lot. She needs us. Maybe that's why we died so young, to keep us from getting so attached to things. The house, antiques, your model. Look at us. We didn't have room for anyone.
What makes you think she likes me?
Barbara slowly smiles. He does too. He turns to Barbara. Camera hinges with him to see. On Barbara, her face is frightened. She cannot speak. She reaches out to him, but is disappearing. He reaches out for her, but she's suddenly gone. Interior dining room, night. Vari-colored lightning bolts shoot from every corner of the square, a gasp from everyone but Lydia. On Lydia, she's looking away. She turns to see, on the dress, Barbara's wedding dress floats over the table and fills slowly, painfully, with the arms, legs, and finally the frightened face of Barbara. A lightning bolt flares. Lydia rises slowly to her feet, unable to resist. More lightning bolts.
As sudden thunder pierces the night, as magic wonder mad of fright rives asunder man's delight, our ghosts are corpse, and we rise to be.
Lydia walks slowly toward Barbara. On Barbara, she is in pain. She is very slowly aging. She speaks, but no words can be heard, not even by Lydia. But we can see she is calling for Adam.
Stop it! No!
Lydia screams for Adam.
Adam! Adam!
As flies the lizard, serpents fell, as goblin vivered at the spell of pale wizard sinks to hell, these buried dead and slain. Rise again.
Interior attic, night. In a lightning flare, we see Adam searching for Barbara. He rushes into the hallway.
Barbara? Barbara! But
His last plaintive call becomes mute as he too begins to slowly disappear. Interior dining room, night. On each of the watchers, one by one, scared but delighted too. No one is watching Lydia. On Lydia, tears well up in her eyes. On Barbara, she is Slowly aging, now a bewildered Adam appears floating in his wedding suit. Seeing his Barbara, now older than he is, Adam reaches for her hand. On hands, as he grips her hand, it seems to be made of white crepe. It wrinkles and nearly collapses. Adam, puzzled, calls her name silently.
What's happening to them?
You don't know?
They're dying.
Oh, they're already dead. They can't feel a thing.
Although that's enough now. Can you stop this? Although.
It's too late. I'm sorry.
On Barbara, she looks down slowly at Lydia and with effort makes a loving smile. She reaches out toward Lydia. Completely helpless now, Lydia weeps openly and then something comes over her. She rushes across the room, stares at the model.
Where are you? Help us! Please! Beetlejuice!
A crack of lightning, exterior model town graveyard, night. Someone or something, like a figure of death in the... Excuse me? In the Goya drawing, is perched atop the gravestone of Barbara and Adam Maitland. The graves beneath them are open. The figure turns. It is Beetlejuice. He is filing his talons casually. He wears a signature striped suit. He speaks with a ghastly rasp.
Sure, I can help him, but you gotta help me.
What?
Look, I'm what you'd like to call an illegal alien, okay? I want out. For good. In order for me to do that, I gotta get married. Hey, these aren't my rules. Come to think of it, I don't have any rules.
On Lydia as she sees Barbara and Adam's corpses.
Come on, think of it as a marriage of inconvenience, okay? We both get something. I get out, you get to say you're hitched with the most eligible bachelor since Valentino came over. We're even, babe.
Okay, just help them.
Sure.
She is chilled, steps back. She turns back to the Maitlands who are continuing to age, looks back at the model.
All right. Beetlejuice.
On Beetlejuice, the tombstone crumbles beneath him.
Beetlejuice.
Wider on the graveyard, he brushes dust off his jacket. On Lydia, she hesitates. On Beetlejuice, tight. He looks up at her confidently.
Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Dining room night. Barbara and Adam's corpses are nearly at the end of their ropes. Interior dining room night. Lydia peers at the model. Beetlejuice is transforming. There's a low rumble. The model town starts to shake. Interior dining room night. Lydia backs away. Beetlejuice's head, now human-sized, rises from the center of the model town. Tight on his face, his grin is malevolent and malicious. It is indeed time, folks.
Attention, Kmart shoppers!
On the Deetzes, who've been focused on the Maitlands, now turning around to the model. On the model, Beetlejuice begins a bright but sinister Carnival Barker's pitch. His shoulders now are clearing the model.
Welcome to Winter River!
Angle, Sarah rushes over to the model, thinking this is more of the show. Maxie follows.
Well, I'm back. I feel real good about myself, you know what I mean? So, without further delay, welcome to Winter River, Museum of the Natural Greed, a monument to the bored businessman. Come on a little closer, step right up, test your strength.
Suddenly, Beetlejuice's arms elongate, swell, and crackle. On Maxie and Sarah, their eyes grow wide. Tight on Beetlejuice's hands, they split, unfurl, and transmutate into two shiny, huge sledgehammers. Maxie and Sarah are delighted. On Beetlejuice, he grins, his eyes sparkle in anticipation. Carny music up.
You better not sell, you better not buy.
On Maxie and Sarah, behind each of them, a graduated carnival bell ringing game standard erects itself. Beetlejuice swings his hammer hands and sends Max and Sarah zooming through the roof. Gong, gong.
And that is why I don't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do them. Yowzer! Well, what do we have here tonight, kids?
He looks up at the suspended Maitlands.
Let's have a hand for the Maitlands, Barbara and Adam. They deserve a rest.
On the Maitlands, wispy shadows by now, but still alive/dead. They fall in a heap on the floor. Note, they immediately start to regenerate themselves. Otho starts to run.
Not so fast, round boy. We're gonna have some laughs.
He kisses Otho on the cheek. It's loud. He cackles. Otho runs. Spotlight on Otho. Otho! His clothes tear away, revealing his a polyester nightmare. So tacky. He cries and runs out of the house. On Adam, filling out again, he struggles to stand but falls. Barbara shakes her head, trying to regain her focus. Charles, Delia, and Lydia huddle together. Beetlejuice puts away some finger guns and joins the huddle.
I just want you two to know you're welcome in our house anytime you want to come over. In the meantime, dowry's on me, Dad.
He places 2 snakes in Charles' hands and whisks Lydia away. He combs his hair.
Well, the Maitlands are taken care of. Everything seems to be back to normal.
He spins around, suddenly dressed in a velvet red suit. An eerie wedding march plays. He puts his arm out for Lydia.
shall we?
Lydia is dressed in a blood-red wedding dress. She floats toward him.
Call the caterer. He's got a great band. Oops, we're gonna need witnesses. Would you?
On Barbara and Adam, not fully recovered, heroically tries to speak, but his ball falls off. An exhausted Barbara tries to help him reattach it. Beetlejuice looks at Lydia. Beetlejuice shifts his glare to Charles and Delia. From behind, Delia's horrid sculptures come to life and attack Charles and Delia. The sculptures twist around them, forcing them to watch a hideous spectacle. They scream. Adam and Barbara are rapidly trying to recover as the ceremony begins. A death-masked old creature alien thing emerges from a jagged fireplace, ready to perform the service. Speaks with a hissing death rattle.
Do you Beetle? No one says the B word. Come on.
Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a big decision. I always said if I did it, I was going to do it once, and that was it. So, sure, yeah, go ahead.
And do you, Lydia, take this man to be your lawful wedded husband in sickness?
No! Lydia struggles. Her screams are muffled and distant. Beetlejuice grabs her and covers her mouth.
She's a little bit nervous.
I'm Lydia Deetz, and I'm of sound mind. The man next to me is the one I want. You asked me, I'm answering. Yes, how I love that man of mine.
Adam, regenerated, move towards them. He shouts the incantation.
I'm fully.
Beetle. Huh?
Angle, Beetlejuice turns to him, and with a sweep of his hand, Adam's teeth, as if they were false, fly out of his mouth and clatter on the floor. Adam, toothless, musters up his ghost powers, and on teeth tight, they rear back and continue shouting.
Beetlejuice.
Mayhem breaks out. A furious Beetlejuice stomps at them with his feet. His teeth scuttle over the model.
Scram! Now move it, guys. Now move it, Pops.
On Adam, speechless. Adam heroically charges towards Beetlejuice, ready to strike him. Beetlejuice spins on him and waves his hand, a sound of rushing wind. On Adam, he has been zapped into his model town. Barbara screams and jumps at Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice turns on, her eyes flashing. A gag comes over her mouth. Adam is running around the streets trying to get out of his model. He looks up to the sky, sees a red glow and thundering wedding music. He does not know what to do. On Barbara, she tears away her face like tissue and tries to say his name again.
Beetlejuice!
On Beetlejuice, more angry, he waves his hand. He shrieks a high-pitched shriek.
This is it.
On Barbara, her lips are zippered shut. In model, desperate, Adam gets an idea. He runs over to the truck Beetlejuice had crashed earlier, jumps in and tries to start it. Barbara unzips her mouth and tries again. Fire darts from Beetlejuice's eyes. On Barbara, a chromium steel plate is riveted across her mouth. She screams wordlessly behind it. In the model, Adam finally gets the truck started. Barbara, struggling with her mouth, frustrated to the breaking point, looks all around the room and rushes to the window and crashes through it into the night. In the model, Adam sees Barbara rush out. He looks back at Beetlejuice, floors the gas pedal, and goes for one last shot.
Now, let's get rolling.
Then by the power vested in me by the ring, please.
The ring! Go, go!
Pockets for the ring. He finds a woman's finger with a ring on it.
Here it is. Here you go. I'm telling you, honey, she meant nothing to me. Nothing at all.
Lydia almost barfs. She shoves the ring on her finger. A loud noise from outside, now nearly deafening.
I now pronounce you man and...
The truck is racing up to Beetlejuice's foot. Adam bails out of it just in time as the truck hits Beetlejuice's foot and explodes, giving him a distracting hot foot. Then, on the window, through it, amidst a cloud of yellow dust, crashes the sandworm. Barbara rides him bareback. Yikes. Barbara struggles to control the roaring worm. She pulls in his ears and looks around for Beetlejuice. Seeing him, she spurs the worm after Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice struggles, trying to run from the worm, but Barbara and the worm outmaneuver him, corner him, and when the worm reaches him, he opens his hungry mouth and gulps Beetlejuice in one mouthful. Barbara leaps off as the sandworm continues down through the floorboards of the house. Beetlejuice is gone. Adam is back to full size. Charles and Delia are no longer held by the sculptures. Lydia runs back to her family and Adam and Barbara. The dust settles and Charles laughs. We fade out. Fade back in. Exterior Main Street, Winter River, a bright day. Birds sing, Ernie polishes the lion, old Bill sleeps, people stroll. Exterior Miss Shannon's boarding school day. A lovely white boarding school with long green lawn. A bell rings, girls come out the front door. Say goodbyes. Lydia walks out too, carrying her books.
Bye, Serena. See you later.
Lydia walks along Main Street of Winter River. Exterior, Jane Butterfield's antique/travel/real estate. Jane is getting out of her car. Little Jane follows.
Hello, how's school?
Okay. How's the dirt business?
Well, I'm expecting a call from your parents. I have some news for them.
Jane hears phone ring from the inside. She rushes in to answer it. Exterior, Main Street, Winter River, a bright day. Ernie polishes the lion. Lydia passes. Interior, Maitland house, day. Sound of sweeping. Camera eases up. Barbara's sweeping. Adam working on his model.
What time is it?
3:30, I guess.
Give or take a year.
Barbara smiles. The kitchen door slams. Barbara looks up at Adam. They smile.
Did you get the paint?
I got it. And I took pictures of the new church for you.
How'd you do on the science test?
It was gross. They wanted me to dissect a frog. I told them no way. I said it was against my religion. I got a C.
Adam frowns a little.
How did you do on the math test?
Lydia looks down coyly.
You have got to be kidding me. We spent all week studying for that test.
I got an A.
They grin with pride.
So can I?
I don't know. I got a C on the science test.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Adam, don't tease her. You never got an A in science in your life.
Well, I suppose.
On Lydia, she puts down her books, loosens her collar, ruffles her hair, and waits.
Okay.
Adam adjusts his glasses. Lydia looks down and begins to levitate. She lifts her head and leaves the world behind in a voice as soulful as Harry Belafonte.
That was good. Oh, boy. There's one more. Great. And that's enough of that.
Behind her, the images of the football players appear as backup.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Music continues over. Beetlejuice sits on the couch in the waiting room, hand on a pair of disembodied women's legs. The other half of the woman whacks him with a book from the other end of the couch. He yelps and moves.
Sorry, didn't see you there.
He sits next to a man with a shrunken head.
Women. I don't know what her problem is. Normally chicks...
Sorry. He isn't listening. Beetlejuice looks at his ticket number. Ooh, 9,998,383,750,000. He looks at the man sitting next to him, number 4.
Pardon me, did you do that? Very nice work. How did you get them so small? Hey, there goes Elvis. Yo, King!
He not so slyly trades papers with him.
Well, it looks like I'm next. Good thing, too. Got a photo shoot for GQ in about an hour and a half. They've been after me for a month doing some kind of underwear deal. I don't know.
The man turns, sprinkles magic dust on Beetlejuice, and his head begins to shrink.
Yeah, so I don't... Hey! What are you doing?
Hey, stop it! You're messing with my hair! Whoa! Hey, this might be a good look for me.
Angle camera tilts up to see house. It is perfect New England house. Camera pulls back from the model out the window of the real house. Outside the real house, we see it as dilapidated and undeniably the perfect haunted house. Fade out.
Yay!
So fun.
Yay!
Man, they really hound in this movie how they're like, they need kids.
What'd you say?
In the screenplay, it's like so much about like, they really want kids.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, man.
Yeah, there's still a lot that was cut out of this. And then none of Beetlejuice's like famous lines are in the shooting script.
It makes
Whoa.
you, yeah, I remember I was looking through the other version and I was like, man, so much of this must have been Michael Keaton just like really doing his thing.
Honestly, like 90%.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
So,
Crazy.
Pretty great.
Wow.
It's like, what a great movie.
So good!
I
love this movie so much.
Yay. Everybody, you guys were so great. Thank you so much.
This was so fun.
Yay.
I love this movie.
I know. What an exciting day.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny as we're reading this, I like, when people ask you like, what is one of your favorite movies ever? I'm like, it's hard to think, but as we're reading this, I go, I remember every single scene in this movie. And it's like, I have so many like lines and line readings. I'm like, I know this whole movie front to back. It's crazy.
You knew like every intonation that he
Yes.
does. Perfect.
It's my favorite movie.
I was really hoping you would get the so hard.
It's you guys, is the best movie. It's the best Tim Burton movie.
89 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
not.
short.
Yeah.
Let's do it again right now.
Let's do it. You know what? Start from the top.
Joey's vocal cords are shredded.
I'm just absolutely shredded to bits. But you know what? That's not it.
So little, right? Because the voice is not sustainable.
Yeah, but the guy who Beetlejuice play just like does that every night.
Yeah. I mean, in the musical, it's a little, he's like a little softer. It's a little more like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. But it's so good.
Know the musical at all? I don't.
Just a little bit. I've listened,
I really like them.
yeah, I've listened to some of the songs and I'm like, oh, these are good. They like change a bunch of stuff.
He
Like in
auditioned
it
for the musical.
at one point, back when it was in DC. But they like make it where Juno is Beetlejuice's mom,
Oh.
which is really bizarre. And like at the end, like Juno tries to stop them and then like they stop Juno. It's like very bizarre.
Weird.
And like the end of Act 1 with the whole snake thing is like Beetlejuice takes over the house. So then that's like him and Lydia living in the house being like, we're scaring people now. And then the family like living in fear in the house. And you're like, this is
What? They really made it their own.
yeah. I mean, it's also like you forget when you watch this movie that you're like, oh, like Beetlejuice is not in half this
he's
movie.
not.
He like doesn't show up till like 45 minutes into the movie about. And then, so it's like, it's what a great movie.
Yeah, so great. So fun.
Well,
Thank you guys. Thank you for asking us to do this.
Thank you. We were talking about it. We were like, well, obviously Joey's Beetlejuice.
His dream
It's
role.
truly it's like only the thing that I'm like, it's the only thing I really care about in this world is playing Beetlejuice. It's like
That's
career-wise. I
incorrect.
go, it's like, you know, most people go like, I want to play this part. I'm like, I only really want to play Beetlejuice, but it's been the best. It's been done the best it's ever could be by Michael Keaton.
Well,
Well, they might.
has it?
The thing is,
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great.
They might remake it and then.
yeah, or do a
Yes,
sequel.
Joey, but
Yeah,
no
oh my
one
God,
else.
yeah.
That was the thankless role ever.
Who's?
Replacing Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Thankless.
They'll make a remake and they'll get like fucking Ansel Elgort.
Yeah,
to
they'll
play
get
him.
Oh!
it'll be Ansel Elgort or like Jim Parsons, and we'll be like, why are we watching Jim Parsons do Beetlejuice?
That's probably a good Beetlejuice.
No, he wouldn't.
No.
I would like to see it. Just
Yeah.
morbid.
Be like, well, hey Lydia.
How Jim Parsons talks on Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
That's how he talks on Big Bang Theory. That's
Yeah.
not how his voice.
Yes, it is. That's like his voice.
Well, it's a different interpretation.
We all know that this was going to turn into a.
Jim Parsons.
Yeah.
We all knew this was going to turn into a scathing dissection of Jim Parsons by the end.
Jim Parsons is doing a great job.
He's doing great. He's rich as hell.
He's making his money.
So how's everyone doing? What's everyone up to the rest of the day?
Ooh, going to bed early.
Yeah.
This was my big event week, so
Yeah.
Washing my bangs.
Oh yeah.
Great. What about you guys?
MK, I cut my bangs shorter after we chatted.
And
Ooh.
good to me.
I was gonna give myself some bangs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all get.
Diane needs bangs.
Oh yeah.
She
Give
looks
her a
so
little
cute.
slip-on
Little
fringe.
Straight to the work
Wow.
team.
Oh yes,
That's good.
Joey.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
Like you're in a band that's performing at Warped Tour.
Yeah. Like, hey guys. I've got, Blake, you've got really great hair right now.
I feel like you are one to, speak. Look at your face.
Game recognized game, you know?
Hair
Right.
recognized hair.
What are you doing in life these days?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, some writing, some walking, getting out for the afternoon jaunt. Can't stay in this place alone all day. Look at you all have people in your lives. I just have my cushions. So
Oh,
You live alone?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
How has that been for you?
It's been good. I've been working with my writing partner, which is great. And so it, remotely, so it doesn't really feel like I've been too isolated. And
yeah, that helps.
yeah. So it's nice. A lot of Zooming, a lot of FaceTimes, a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of
Lot of
games. So
Well, you guys are so great, and it's so good to see you. And we
You guys are great.
Thanks for having us.
Sean, you have the perfect shirt. You
Yeah.
had the shirt.
That's why they cast me.
Yeah.
I wasn't in it until I was like, okay.
It was supposed to be Rosie.
Yeah.
It was gonna be Rosie. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really excited, but she would have bailed
Oh.
anyway, so it's fine.
Well, guys, we love you.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching.
yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
for
guys.
watching. Is this going to live on YouTube too for a while so we can keep directing people to it?
Yes, you can add it to your reel.
Perfect.
Oh,
I will.
great. I
will.
definitely will.
I'm. There's going to be a lot of Zoom reels after this, though.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
It's not going to be uncommon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
So great.
Yeah.
We'll
Thanks,
be
everyone.
back next
Bye,
week for
everybody.
live stream.
Good job.
Whee! What are you guys watching next week or doing or
We haven't decided yet.
Fun.
do whatever?
Maybe we'll just rewatch this.
We'll rewatch this.
Well,
stream.
you'll watch. You'll do
Yeah.
a stream watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Comment on it. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.